From the alley-oops at Keysar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
What's up, everyone? You're probably wondering what I'm doing here alone, but it's 49ers Cutback Podcast time, and due to unforeseen circumstances, I am running the ship alone until everyone gets here. But we are going to have an absolute blast today because guess what? The schedule's out, and it is crazy. I barely got time to look over this before we went live, and I'll tell you right now, the 49ers are going to hit it out of the park this year. I like the schedule so far. I don't know if any of you have seen it yet, but this is going to be crazy fun. We are starting out on the road, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting it going in a big way because we are starting week 1 at Detroit. Yeah, at Detroit. The last time the 49ers started at Detroit, 1984, and they kind of won a Super Bowl that year. The other time, 1981, Super Bowl. So I kind of like where this is going for the 49ers. I have no doubts this is going to be a big-time season. What do you guys all think about starting on the road at Detroit? It looks now like the 49ers are going to be starting, with an overlay where they're going to stay 2 weeks, maybe in Youngstown, Ohio. It's probably a spot where they're going to be. This is going to be fun. So I'm telling you right now, buckle up your seatbelts. We're going to get into this schedule big time. The only thing I didn't like about Detroit, week 1 at 10 a.m. for me, Pacific time. If you're on the West Coast, 10 a.m. Pacific on a Sunday, it makes it a little bit rough. Those are the ones I kind of struggle with. But I will be up. I will be on it. I'll be ready to go because guess what? Week 1, Detroit, Goff needs that smoke. You already know Goff is going to get the smoke. He's going down. Bosa's going to be going crazy. Goff has already got his happy feet, and he just found out the schedule. I guarantee this guy is major nervous, and I can't wait to see that. But there's going to be some cool matchups in that game, but I think it all starts up front, the way Detroit built the team, through the front, really going offense and defensive line. Penei Sewell against Nick Bosa, against, Ebukam, against this Eric Armstead, this defensive line. It's going to be a matchup to watch. Detroit will be bringing something different with Dan Campbell's, different style of run game, and they'll be coming right at us. So this will be a lot of fun. I think the biggest game I remember from Detroit was probably still the Harbaugh handshake game. So we get to have something fun with that, which I'm excited about. And guess what, guys? Week 2, I see JL, he's asking about week 2. We're going to Philly. We're playing Philly at 10 a.m. We get to get a little bit of revenge for last year losing that game. There's no way we should have lost to Philly last year at home. That was just a heartbreaker that really put the season on the downward slope. But we go to Philly next, and I think that the 49ers have a good opportunity to go 2-0. Jalen Hurts, we get to see them, but they got all that speed on the outside. So the questions are, can we stop Jalen Reagor? Can we stop Devontae Smith? Those are going to be big questions. And can the improvement on the offensive line stop this defensive line? What do you guys think about that? Because, last year we had so much problems with that defensive line in that game. Of course, we had Mullins, missing guys and missed, juice on what would have been a huge play, maybe even a touchdown early on in that game that could have set the tone. But the Eagles now will have a more mobile quarterback, no Carson Wentz. Carson really kept the 49ers, defense in that game. So I am curious what everyone thinks about that. I think the 49ers, they can handle this business. And I like the early part of the season, the way that it stacks out like that. And then we get the home opener, September 26th. This is a Sunday night game against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is coming to town, maybe, if he's still playing. But he'll be leading the charge as Green Bay comes into town. And they'll be playing the 49ers. And this will not be the same as last year. I don't think anyone thinks that it's going to be the same as last year. That Thursday night game was just a complete joke. All the injuries, and then with the guys that had to sit out, I think it was a real problem. I've seen in the comments right now that everyone thinks the Niners, are going to handle business against Detroit, against Philly. I think you're right. I think they can handle business in those first two games. I think it is a big-time home opener, though. Guys, a big opener against Green Bay. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the 49ers can handle Green Bay, coming in week 3? Hopefully we're healthy. I think if the 49ers defensive line is healthy, Aaron Rodgers is just not going to like that. Because that offensive line, maybe Brian Bulaga is healthy, but, if Bosa and them are rushing off the outside, and if we have D Ford, man, they give the Packers offensive line fits. They did in the playoffs. I think that's going to be a fun matchup to watch, and that's the Sunday night, week 3. Week 4, guess what? It's Seahawks time. 105 game at home against the Seahawks. That is going to be the first time we're going to get to see them play the NFC West, see where they match up against the division winners last year. Can they hold up against the Seahawks? Can they stop Jamal Adams from blitzing because he sure can't cover? I think those are going to be big questions that we're going to have. But I think it's kind of rough again. Last year they did the same thing to the 49ers, Seahawks, and then Green Bay afterwards. This time it's Green Bay, then Seahawks afterwards. So that the NFL has kind of got that going for them right now. But I think that's a little bit of a tough road. But if the 49ers can get through that, even if they split those, they'll be looking really good, even at a 3-1 record right there. I think they're setting themselves up for a nice playoff push, and that will be a big game. I think everyone looks for the Seahawks game. I know I do. I'm not lying when I tell you, if someone tells me they're a Seahawks fan, we ain't dating. That's not happening. I don't date Seahawks fans, and I don't think anyone would blame me either. But that's a big game. I hate losing to the Seahawks maybe more than any other team, so we cannot lose that one. That's a must-win. And then after that, it is Arizona at Arizona, which 49ers are definitely used to playing in Arizona, our home, away from home. That's a nice short trip, and that's a 125 game. That's on Fox. That's 125 Pacific Standard Time, so 425 for you on the East Coast. So that'll be a good game. So the Niners are going back-to-back division games. This will be a little bit tougher. You're going to have a improved defense on Arizona, of course. It's going to be crazy, especially the announcement today that one of our guys that we really liked in the draft, Zaven Collins, is now the middle linebacker. They've already told Hicks seek a trade. That linebacking core with him and Isaiah Simmons is going to be rough. I just don't know what to do. J.J. Watt is going to be there. I'm looking forward to these matchups. I can't wait. What's up, Clown Man? Welcome to the chat. Guys, this is going to be fun. I think right away you guys see that we're on a nice little, first 5 games. That's a nice track. What are you guys thinking right now? What do you think the record could be through those first 5 games? Because what happens after that is our bye is week 6. Might be a little early. I would prefer it, kind of in the middle of the season. I think most people would prefer it in the middle of the season. I know the players would. That's a little bit early for a bye week, but through those first 5 games, they do have the 2 division games. So, you get kind of a couple of those games out of the way. You get one at home against the Seahawks and then one on the road against Arizona, which I don't even consider a road game anymore. 49ers are way too familiar with that field, way too familiar with that team. So I think that one's kind of a wash. And then you got, coming out of the bye, a big Sunday night football game at home, October 24th. Here comes the Indianapolis Colts and Buckner. Oh, man, DeForest Buckner is going to be on his way. He's going to be hyped. That whole defense is going to be hyped. And then they also have a very improved offensive line. We could also see, the new left tackle out there as well. They are definitely set up. That might be one of the toughest games coming up, is the Indianapolis Colts coming to San Francisco for that Sunday night game. So the 2 Sunday night matchups so far, Green Bay and Indianapolis. 49ers, of course, getting the primetime games because they are a primetime team and everyone knows they're about to return to form. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think the Colts game is going to be a nice show of where the 49ers are. I think early on you have the matchups, against Green Bay. They're always a playoff team, and especially lately they've been a playoff team. And if they have Aaron, they're for sure going to be solid. But this is a nice matchup because the Colts are built to win. And now that they've gotten Carson Wentz, They have given themselves every opportunity to be successful. Let's see if the 49ers can get to Carson Wentz and cause some issues. But it's going to be fun seeing Buck back. I just sure as heck hope he doesn't do a whole lot. And then we got the Halloween game. We're going to be welcoming Justin Fields. Could be the Red Rifle, but more than likely Justin Fields on Halloween at 10 a.m. Pacific. Oh, NFL, why do you do this to me? Halloween at 10 a.m.? Hey, I'm all for it, though, because I want to see Justin Fields. I want to see what he's doing with that team, because I think that there's a good chance that Justin Fields is starting there by then, especially. They did not trade up to let the Red Rifle lead that team. Justin Fields has too much ability, too many weapons. He's going to make it happen. That defense is rough. Some more great matchups. Khalil Mack against Trent Williams. Of course, I think we'll see Khalil Mack a lot on Mike McGlinchey, and that'll be rough. And that whole secondary is really good for the Bears, so that's a good matchup for the 49ers. But that's a tough game, and it's at Chicago. So anytime you're on the East Coast at a 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's usually really tough for the West Coast team, keeping it real. So that could be rough for the 49ers. And then it's time to play Arizona again, this time at home. November 7th, 1:25. It's a Sunday game, 1:25 Pacific, 4:25 on the East Coast. So if you're making your plans around this stuff, I know I will. That's always a big weekend for me, so I'll be enjoying that. But once again, finishing off with Arizona in November. As you can see, we still have played only Arizona and Seattle in the West. That means they are saving the Rams and Seahawks for the later games. They're making sure that these high-profile games are coming later. If our team is healthy, and by that time, the NFC West is going to know they're in trouble. But I think it's interesting that we're going to be done with Arizona here in week 9. And we've already had our bye week, and now we're going to be done with Arizona. And then in week 10, here come the Rams. Matthew Stafford and the Rams come to the 49ers for Monday Night Football, November 15th on ESPN. That's going to be a heck of a game. What will the Rams look like? I think that's the big question. You got Matthew Stafford and, just taking over for Goff, and he's so much better. I mean, he is. He's so much better than Goff. Goff was a real mistake for them. He was always having issues. I think everyone else thinks the same thing, that the Rams are going to be an improved team. I still always have questions about their offensive line. Their offensive line has been aging for years. They haven't done a whole lot to improve the offensive line. They got a lot of cool, players and stuff like that. They've definitely been adding to that skill position group, and they're going to be hard to stop. But the front for the 49ers is defensive line is just so good. Now the real question is going to be, will Aaron Donald remember who Deebo Samuel is? He better remember, or Deebo's going to run all over him, because that's what happens. And then the 49ers get another East Coast trip. So as you can see, a lot of trips to the East Coast. Detroit, Philly, Chicago, and now a long one to Jacksonville, where they're going to be playing Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can Fred Warner smack Tim Tebow if he actually gets on that roster? But that's a November 21st, 10 a.m. game, Pacific time. Another early game for the 49ers. So they're going to have to play early, and hopefully they play well. I think a lot of people, have questions about how the 49ers are going to play at those early time zones. They've done pretty well under Kyle Shanahan. I know it was always something that didn't work out very well before Jim Harbaugh got there, and then once Harbaugh got there, they kind of fixed the way that they traveled and fixed the days that they came in, and it's been no different through Shanahan. So I think that they'll be able to handle it, and Jacksonville should be, kind of ripe for the picking. We should be able to handle Jacksonville. Yes, they will be improved, but the 49ers are no joke, especially on defense. Trevor Lawrence isn't ready for what's coming with him. Nick Bosa and Dee Ford and Ebicom and Armstead. Oh, geez. And Zach Kerr, they are not ready for that. November 28th, Week 12, we're playing Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings are coming to town for the first time since we absolutely wrecked them in the division game. They got hammered. Kirk Cousins is coming to town. I don't know if that scares anyone. It sure as heck does not scare me. I don't think Kirk Cousins should scare anyone, and I think the 49ers will be ready. Now, that team, they did pretty good in the draft. It was a good draft. I don't know how quick that turnaround is going to be for them. I don't know how much they're going to improve off of last year, but the 49ers will definitely be ready for that. And at least Minnesota is coming to San Francisco, not another trip that way, which is always concerning, but it's not happening this time. And then guess what, guys? Here comes the Sunday night football game. You knew it had to be on Sunday night. We're into December. We're into that witching hour. December 5th at 5:20 p.m. Sunday night football against, of course, the Seattle Seahawks, the hated Seahawks, going to Seattle to play them. And you know that game is going to be off the hook. That will tell a lot about this season. I think that will tell a whole bunch about this season, because at that point, one of the teams is going to be, pushing for that division title, and the other one could be, in trouble of not making the playoffs. There's no way that, every team in the West makes the playoffs. 3 maybe, more than likely 2, but it's going to be harder and harder. There's going to be 17 games. It's the biggest season ever. And this is one of the biggest games ever. You guys know it. I know it. I always circle these games. And the Seahawks is going to be a tough matchup. It always is. It doesn't matter how good they are. It's a rivalry game, and big things happen in the rivalry game. So another Sunday night football game for the 49ers. The 49ers are hitting on all these primetime games, which means the NFL believes they're going to be good, because these networks want games that are going to be good, and they believe the 49ers are going to be one of the teams that represents the NFL well, and that people are going to want to watch, and that equal ratings, because ratings equal more cash, and more cash is good for the players and the owners. And then it's off to Cincinnati for the extra game this year, the extra AFC game. We're playing Cincinnati at December 12th, another 10 a.m. Pacific game. So another time that the 49ers are going to be playing on the East Coast, or towards the East Coast, and early. Those are the big things I always look at when I'm looking at the schedule, is when these start times are. The 49ers usually, get a few, but, they're hitting us pretty hard with these, trips to Chicago. These are kind of the ones I wish would be primetime games, because then you don't have to worry about the 10 a.m. start time Pacific. Chicago, Philly, Detroit. Now this one, it's like, okay, come on. The only good thing we got going for us is it's Detroit, Philly, and Cincinnati is 3 of those games. Those are all winnable games. Jacksonville as well, definitely a winnable game for a 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time start. If you look it up history-wise, it's not usually a good thing for the West Coast team, but I think it's going to be this year, because the 49ers are a lot better than those other teams. And then on December 19th in Week 15, we welcome the Dirty Birds. Atlanta Falcons will be coming. And guess what, guys? We'll get our first look at one of the best tight ends. We don't know Julio will be on the team, though. We don't know what's going to happen with Julio Jones, but that offense is going to be very much improved. They're going to be ready to go. And Atlanta is going to be improved. They're going to have weapons on offense. They have no weapons on defense. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop Kyle Shanahan's offense or this run game, but they can definitely do something, on the defensive side of the offensive side of the ball. So this could be a high-scoring matchup. What do you guys think about it so far through Week 15? Are any of these matchups really scary? To me, so far, none of them really scare me. Of course, you got the games against, the division rivals. I think those are ones that we're always concerned about, that may be kind of like, those are rough. But I think those are no different than ever. I don't think right now there's a game that stands out that I don't think the 49ers have a real opportunity to win. And then we get closer to Christmas, and we got the Tennessee Titans. And we're playing at Tennessee, 5:20 on the NFL Network. So that's going to be a fun game. That's Thursday Night Football. So that's the Thursday game. The 49ers, once again, hitting it out of the park with the primetime games. And Tennessee is a absolutely huge matchup. This one could have huge playoff implications, just because both of these teams are very solid. I am interested to see if the 49ers can stop Derrick Henry. Javon Kinlaw definitely is going to be helping that run game. And the additions of Zach Kerr, and Hurst, and those guys on the inside is going to be big. DJ Jones, if he's healthy, this 49ers defensive line can live up to the task. But you're going to have to stop Henry. And if you stop Henry, the entire offense will go, and you can be successful. But I think that's one of the games we're going to see if the 49ers are playoff ready. You have to be able to stop the run game in the playoffs, and if they stop the run game, they're going to do it in a big way. I think they can do it, and this is going to be one heck of a game, one heck of a Thursday night game, because I think both these teams want to win the same way, with great defense and a very solid run game, and then also beat you, with the play action pass. Ryan Tannehill, solid as far as that goes, as far as, that type of role. I think he could be very, very, very successful. You're right, Jay Ellie. The middle of the schedule is packed with, good teams and great situations. And then we get to week 17, and we've got the Texans, January 2nd at 1:05 p.m. Pacific. We're playing Houston at home. No idea what's going to happen with the quarterback position. Zero idea. It could be any one of those guys at this point. But I think that, we have to look at this and just really think that this is an opportunity to win a game late in the season. Somebody the 49ers should definitely defeat, because the Houston Texans are not in the 49ers league as far as talent goes. This is one of the best rosters in the NFL, and besides Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans are not that good. They've traded away most of their great players already. They've been losing players, all the time. So I think that this is a definite winnable game, and the 49ers need to win this game. And then to finish the season on January 9th, Week 18, the 49ers play the Los Angeles Rams in LA, which could have division playoff hopes, everything on it. This could be for the division championship in the West. This could be the biggest game of the year. You knew it was going to be a division rival. It had been Seattle. They had been doing Seattle the last week. Now it's McVay. It's the Rams. It's Aaron Donald. All of that is going to be fun. What kind of matchups are we going to get? I am excited for that game. That is going to be the big game where we're going to find out exactly what the 49ers are made of. Coming down to the end, hopefully we're healthy. But, this is kind of how the season stacks out. I mean, what do you guys think the toughest matchup is? The 49ers have some tough ones in this matchup. I think it starts out nice for them with those first two games. Green Bay and Seattle's kind of rough. There's that stretch. I mean, there is a lot of tough games in this schedule. Can the 49ers, win a lot of these tough football games is going to be a big, big question. I don't know, but I see a lot of winnable games too as I'm looking at the schedule. I think there's a lot of winnable games. What do you guys think? Which games do you think are the most winnable? Which ones do you not? If you have any questions, let's go over this. Let's talk about it. Let's have fun talking about these games. What are the player matchups you want to see? Are you excited that the 49ers have 5 primetime games again? I did not see there was a lot of rumors the 49ers were going to be playing on Thanksgiving. They're not playing on Thanksgiving. I did see a lot of rumors that they were going to be playing on Christmas. They're not playing on Christmas. Those are kind of the things that, I look for, and I'm okay with that, to be honest with you. I'm okay with not playing on the holidays. I kind of enjoy some of the games, not happening that way. So, let's see. Yeah, I think we're all ready for some football, David. I think everyone's excited for the football season. The Seahawks games, I think, are going to be the ones that we're looking at the most. It just always is. That's the thing that stands out the most. Can we finally get over the hump and get Carroll to choke on his gum? I think that's the whole goal for the 49ers, is get Carroll to choke on the gum. Take care of DK Metcalf. And I think that's really what we're looking at. It's all going to come down to this defensive line. That offensive line for Seattle is not good enough. Okay, they had very, very few draft picks, and then they got Stone Forsythe. I don't know if anyone knows who Stone Forsythe is. He's huge. He's like 6'8". He's like 330 pounds, but the guy plays high. And I remember breaking him down and saying Nick Bosa was going to put him on his back if the 49ers drafted him in practice. And now we're going to get to see it. I sure hope we do, because I want to see that. I want to see Stone Forsythe against these guys. But that offensive line for Seattle is not ready for this defensive line at all. I don't think anyone is ready for what's going to happen this year. But when you're looking at this schedule, I think there are games that the 49ers right off the bat, you got to feel good about as a fan. Detroit, Philly, I think Seattle even. I think right off the bat, those games you feel really good about. Getting to play the Packers at home and not at Lambeau is always a benefit. The game in Arizona, that is okay. Once again, a short trip and something that the 49ers are accustomed to playing at after last year playing so much in Glendale. That'll be easy for them. Buckner returning is going to be a huge matchup on Sunday Night Football. I'm really excited about that one. He's going to be pumped up, but I would love to see that offensive line stud him up and not let him do anything. And then, I want to see Justin Fields. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to be out there trying to prove that he's the guy. Now, does anyone think Trey Lance is going to be starting? Because I have seen a lot of people saying Halloween, Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. I don't think that is going to happen. I don't think Trey Lance is going to be starting. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think he's going to be starting? Because I think that we're going to get Jimmy Garoppolo as long as Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy. And then I think that, along the way, Trey Lance is going to be used in some specific roles. But I don't see that being a Trey Lance versus Justin Fields matchup. I'm sure the NFL, probably thinks that that's what I'm talking about because they put it at 10 a.m. and they would market that a lot bigger if it was going to be Trey versus Justin. So I think they probably believe the same sort of thing, that that's not a primetime game because they probably don't believe one or both of them will be starting for their teams. And then you got Arizona and the Rams, which is a big stretch. And then Jacksonville, Minnesota, I think are both winnable football games. Seahawks, Bengals, Falcons, that's another stretch that is a winnable, attainable thing. And then Tennessee is going to be tough, but then you can win the Houston game. So I think the 49ers definitely have times where it's kind of sprinkled around and they can do different stuff and be okay. Yeah, David, I think, a lot of people think that Jimmy's going to get hurt. He might. I think Jimmy's going to be out to prove a lot of people wrong. Jimmy's going to be out to prove that he is durable. He's playing for his career now. He's playing for, everything to prove that he is a big-time player and that, somebody needs to give him a contract. He wants to make this agonizing for the 49ers, and I don't blame him. I think Trey Lance is going to be a lot of benefit. Number one, he's a big-time quarterback, and he's going to develop into something great. Number two, he is going to push Jimmy Garoppolo to be the best Jimmy Garoppolo that we have seen thus far. I want the question, and I want this to happen. I want to be saying 49ers won the Super Bowl. What are we going to do with a Super Bowl champion Jimmy Garoppolo? That is the problem that I want to have. Can that happen? I don't know. But, a lot of people are saying he's going to get hurt in like 6 games. Maybe. Maybe Jimmy plays all of them. You know what I mean? Maybe he does. Who knows? Who knows what Jimmy Garoppolo is going to do? I don't know because I definitely thought he was over, all the injuries after 2019 and then 2020 happened. But 2020 happened to everybody. So, those December and January games, there's a lot of flex games involved. So games could get moved around, especially once you get into, kind of the, that January time. They're going to want to flex games to Sunday Night Football, especially if they have more impact. I know they've made it so they can flex games to Monday Night Football now, which they hadn't done in the past, but part of the new, agreement, the new network deals, that they're going to be moving games all around because they're going to be trying to make sure the ratings are up because they need to get this salary cap up. They need to be making more and more money because, after this last season, 2020 really hit the NFL hard, hit them financially, hit the players financially. It hit the owners as well. The owners lost money. So I think that it's going to be big. But I think this is the first thing in the line of the season now. Now that we know the schedule and we know when they're playing, we know when these prime time games are going to happen, it's exciting. You know what I mean? It really is. The 49ers are going to have a fun season, and we're going to see what happens with these games. But I'm excited about the possibilities. Let's see. I think the biggest questions, right, are his health, Nick Bosa's health, Dee Ford's health. Really, when it comes down to the 49ers, it's health. I mean, that's the biggest concerns for the 49ers is health. I don't think the 49ers have to worry about too many teams coming in there and beating them. I think they have to worry about beating themselves. Just injuries and obstacles getting in their way. that they otherwise, should be able to control but haven't controlled. So I think those are the big questions facing the 49ers. And what are the 49ers, going to do? Does everyone think they're going to stay in Columbus? I mean, or in Youngstown, Ohio, for week 1 and 2? I think that is another big question. Are the 49ers going to stay there while they're playing Detroit and Philly? I think those are some key matchups. I know we didn't go over the preseason matchups. Those are all to be determined right now, but the teams have been announced. The first preseason game is against Kansas City, and then against the Los Angeles Chargers, and then finishing off the last preseason game against the Raiders. There's 3 preseason games now. Now there's a 17-game season. There's only the 3, and those are the opportunities, for us to get an idea of what the roster could look like. Do you guys like preseason games? I mean, I'm one of the guys that likes preseason games. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching players that are depth pieces, to see what they could possibly do, see which guys are really working towards, getting a roster spot and having an opportunity to win a spot on the team. Guys that I can get excited about that I'm, usually wouldn't know, or maybe I know who they are, but I haven't seen them on the field. But I want to know what you guys think. How excited are you guys about preseason? Because that is what's going to be, kind of fun to watch, is we didn't have preseason last year. And so some of those guys that would have had a shot to prove something and make the roster didn't get an opportunity. So are you guys excited to see, what would happen there? Do you guys put anything into the fact that the 49ers are starting in Detroit, and in 81 and 84, they started in Detroit and then won a Super Bowl? Do you guys believe in superstition? Is that something that you guys want to hold your hat on? I'm not sure. If they will. I don't think anyone is going. I don't even think there's going to be enough fans in the stands for that, Caleb. And yeah, I think you're right, David Monty. I think they're going to stay. I think they'll stay in Youngstown. I think they'll stay back on the East Coast, and they'll just plan it. I think the NFL does do the 49ers a solid. I think the 49ers request it. Last year, they stayed over there while they played the Jets and Giants, which ended up being a really dark period for the 49ers schedule, because of all the injuries. You losing Bosa, losing Solomon Thomas, losing Jordan Reed, no George Kittle. I think all those things really added up. I mean, even Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. So that was definitely a dark time for the 49ers. And now, how dark is it going to be this year? I don't think it's going to be. I think they start 2-0. That's a little glimpse into the future. I'm not going to go out and pick all these games right now. I want to really digest them and look at them. But I think that is a distinct possibility that they could go, 2-0. Yeah, exactly. Trying to figure out who will make the team. Exactly. That's one of the big things. We put out, our early 53 today, and it's really a hard conversation because some of these are tough. I don't know how many of you guys saw, but Austin Walter, running back, got cut today. The 49ers already made a move in the running back room. We knew it was going to be one of the toughest, spots to lose and to win a job. And it definitely already lost a very good player. He's very good on special teams and somebody that they counted on. But that team is just so good. That roster is just so good. And those battles are unbelievable. When you look at the 49ers battles and you've got, the defensive line, which I don't know how they're going to cut that down to 9 or 10 guys. I mean, that one is going to be rough. There's going to be some players that get cut that are really good. I think the same thing for the offensive line, which they needed to improve, and they did in a big way. And then the running back room. And then there's going to be a tough cut at the receiver room because Mohamed Sanu is back. I don't know what kind of Mohamed Sanu we're going to get, but could be. You know what I mean? JL, you didn't see the Chargers game. Are you talking about the preseason one? It's week 2 of the preseason is the Chargers. This was released by the 49ers, so hopefully that is true. I went completely off what the 49ers said. I did not, go off of anyone else. These are not, projections or anything. These are completely 100% confirmed by the 49ers themselves. So I went with that, and I think that, this is actually, I thought it was going to be, when you're really thinking about it beforehand, you think it's going to be a super easy schedule, and then you realize that there are some really tough games coming down, the stretch. There just is. I mean, this is the NFL. It's not going to be easy. The 49ers definitely have to win the games that are available to win, the ones that they are, should win. They have better roster than, and then the other ones, they have to make sure they play their best. 2019, for the most part, they were in every single game, losing just by field goals, 1-2 points here and there. They just played really, really tough and really good. I look for the offense to take a step forward, more power, run game, better passing game with the addition of Brandon Ayuk. Also, I think that's a big question, is how much better is the 49ers roster in 2021 than it is in 2019? What do you guys think? Do you think it's better, or do you think 2019 was still better just because they had Buckner and a more healthy Richard Sherman? I'm curious about that. Yeah, Jay Ellie, it goes Chiefs, then Chargers, then Raiders. That's at least the graphic that I saw, that I got from the 49ers. So that's what I saw. That is on there. Megan says, is there a matchup you're really excited about that's not the 49ers? You know what? If I had to go out there and say it, I think I would just start with Tampa Bay and Dallas. It's the first game of the season. So that's the one I'm most excited about, because it means the football season's here. That's really what it comes down to. The rest of it, you just don't know. You don't know how it's going to shake out. Of course, there's lots of big-time matchups of big-time quarterbacks. You don't know who's going to be healthy, what team's going to have which guy. But the first week you're probably going to get Tom Brady versus Dak Prescott, and that's exciting because I'm curious what Tampa Bay looks like running back all 22 players, and that great defense. Are they going to be able to get after Dak? Did the Cowboys do enough on the draft? Not sure, but that's going to be tough for them. So those will be fun, and those will be fun to watch. But I think that would be the matchup I would be looking at the most. I haven't looked at a lot of the matchups to make sure. I've been fully focused on 49ers to the most part, because really that's what I care about the most. But I think there's going to be, a lot of good matchups. I think, Megan, I think New England has a big matchup with the Dolphins week 1, if I'm not mistaken, which could be a fun game to watch as well, because that Dolphins defense is going to be super rough. Yes, JLE, every NFC West game is going to be exciting. That's one of the things that we focus on all the time on this channel. All throughout the year, not only do we watch every single 49ers versus whoever they're playing, but we also keep an eye on those NFC West games. We pick those NFC West games, and then we give a rundown of, how the 49ers are sitting in the NFC West. I think that is the thing to watch. The NFC West is the thing to watch, because if the 49ers win the division, playoffs, right? You don't have to worry about wild card. You take, everything into your own hands. You take care of business. It's always fun to watch. I'm going to make some bold predictions, along the way. I'm looking for Seattle to take a step back. I think a lot of people are seeing the writing on the wall for Seattle. I think Russell Wilson sees the writing on the wall for Seattle, and it's time for the 49ers to step up in a big way. As you guys can see, Alex is on the chat. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. When he gets here, he'll be jumping on as well. But we really appreciate, you guys that have been helping us. If you guys didn't catch, we're at 800 subscribers now. We really appreciate everyone that has been subscribing, everyone that's been adding to the channel. You guys always have great comments. Thanks, Tia, for being the 800 subscriber. It's really cool that we got there. We had the goal of 750 for the draft. We get to 800, and you guys are 100% the reason why we enjoy doing this, and it wouldn't be as fun as it is without all of you guys joining in the conversation. It's been a lot of fun. The schedule is always fun, and I just like what you guys' feedback is. We've been getting feedback so much from everyone about all these different games, and I think it's crazy that even when the schedule comes out, it is so far away, and yet I'm already hyped about certain matchups. I'm sure you guys are as well, because I plan literally what I'm going to be doing on weekends around when the 49ers play. If they're playing a primetime game, I have to look at my schedule and make sure that, I can work out my schedule to make sure that I am watching that 49ers game. And I'm sure everyone does the same. That's why these are really big. All right, Teddy Belcher says, hello, week 14 is a nightmare. Week 14, huh? Let's see. Week 14 against the Bengals. That's the nightmare. Yeah, I don't think that's a nightmare at all. I'm not really worried about the Bengals. I think that they are building, but they are going to have a long way to go. They're gonna need a lot of help to beat the 49ers. But maybe Teddy Belcher knows something we don't know. We shall see. I don't see that though. Um, yeah, true. So you know what? I'm just gonna ignore that and go back to the schedule because it's a lot of fun to look at, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about a couple of the the key matchups that really I think could tip the scale of the season, one way or the other. And I think that week 9 and 10, when they're playing Arizona and then playing the Rams on Monday Night Football, I think that if the 49ers can win those two games, that it could tip the scale in a positive way. And that the 49ers could really have an opportunity to have a successful season and get to the playoffs. Because that would be two big wins against division opponents, what the 49ers need to do. Plus, they follow it up with Jacksonville. So I think they could go on a nice stretch run right there and win 3 games if they were able to handle those. And it'll show kind of that they're the class of the NFC West. Of course, the NFC West games are always the biggest matchups and the matchups that we need to win. But I just thought that that was a very important time for the 49ers and a time when the 49ers, need to take advantage and really win those games. I think there are key times in the season where games mean a lot, and that is a key time. It is right there in that middle of the season. You've already had your bye week, so you can't wait for a bye week. You can't be hoping for a bye week. You got to come out of that bye week, spring forward, and just make plays. And I think the 49ers can win those games. I really do, but they're going to have to do it in a big way. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Megan, I think we could have a live from the game podcast. We'll see what happens. We're gonna try to work on doing a lot of fun stuff. David Monty, offensive line, who's the starter? We're gonna have to watch that. Banks or Brunskill against Aaron Donald at that point. I think Banks is gonna push Brunskill. I'm not gonna say he's gonna make it. I've seen some stuff out there already that's saying Aaron Banks is the second best lineman on the team. I'm ready to pump the brakes on that. Because he hasn't proved anything in the NFL yet. And Alex Mack, Daniel Brunskill, Laken Tomlinson and those guys, they've proved it already. And Alex Mack is the second best offensive lineman on this team behind Trent Williams, and I don't even think it's close. Alex Mack is an intelligent player, and he knows everything about the team. He's going to know everything about this blocking scheme and what the players around him need to do to be successful. He's going to put people in the right situations and make sure the 49ers are very, very successful this year. The Alex Mack addition is going to be huge. For the first time since really Weston Richburg, we're going to have a guy that knows this offense inside and out. And Mack is a solid player. He can get to the second level and make all the blocks, a tremendous pass blocker. So that's going to be big. But you're right. Aaron Banks versus Brunskill is the key matchup to watch on the offensive line. Of course, all the depth on the offensive line is going to be fun to watch as well. So Megan says, what do you think the Niners will do differently this year to defend Metcalf with Seattle? I think what it's going to come down to, because Metcalf takes a little bit to get into his routes, he's not exactly the fastest guy as far as getting in and out, off the line of scrimmage, and especially in press coverage and getting to his spot. A lot of it is long and drawn out, but if he has time to get downfield, he can cause some real issues. He has elite speed. But I think what the 49ers are going to do is make sure the defensive line gets to Russell Wilson early, disguise blitzes like they were doing early with Saleh. If you watch those games early on in the games, both games against Seattle, 49ers were confusing Russell Wilson and getting to him with blitzes, using shell coverages. That means, making it look like you're running one defense and you're running another as far as coverage goes. You could be looking like you're running a cover 2, and then you're really in a cover 3 or a man scheme. And they were confusing him. I remember, seeing Verrett look like he was playing in the slot and then jump outside and switch with Mosley late. Those are the kind of things that can confuse Russell Wilson and make it harder for DK to be successful. Also, they could also roll safety over the top and make sure help. But they're going to have to worry about Dwayne Eskridge now already. And they already got Tyler Lockett. So there's going to be some confusion or some things to watch out for. But I think that they can handle business. I think that they'll be okay with that. Rookie jersey numbers. I haven't heard anything else, Jay Ellie, about rookie jersey numbers. I did see today that Ambry Thomas is waiting to see what 49ers, what they issue him. I'm sure it goes by seniority, and the fact that, some of the other guys already got their number, you would think he's going to be changing. Deebo Samuel announced today he's staying as 19 on his Instagram. So that is big news for the 49ers. At least we won't have to worry about getting Deebo Samuel jerseys. Yeah, you know what? Return to Super Bowl 16, Teddy. You're right. That's a possibility. The whole popping right back onto it, just like they were doing in 81 and 84. Maybe that's the Super Bowl tour. It's a little early, but I like it. Yep, David Monty, we're going to be running it down people's throats. It's going to be physical up front. And I think people are going to like what they see. There's going to be a really creative run game, the things that they're going to do. And nobody sleep on the fact that Jalen Hurd is going to be healthy. If Jalen Hurd makes it to the regular season healthy, get ready for this offense. Is going to be absolutely fantastic, tremendous to watch. He's going to do so many things with Jalen Hurd. Kyle Shanahan is looking at this guy. He will be like a queen of the board because he can move him around. He can go any direction. He can do anything he wants. And Jalen Hurd is a big-time talent who, if you didn't know, played running back at Tennessee before he switched to receiver at Baylor. He started in front of Alvin Kamara at Tennessee. Remember that. The dude is legit talent and can be a real force in the red zone. So I'm excited about that one. Wow, get the bag. You got it already. 14-3. You heard it here from Get the Bag. They said 14-3. I would not hate that at all. I'm not going to get used to seeing a 14-3 and not a 13-3 or a 14-2. That's going to take some getting used to. But yeah, I definitely would love 14-3. And if the 49ers go 14-3, that means they got the number one spot in the NFC, and they are getting a week one or wild card bye, which could be huge, and then home field advantage throughout the playoffs, just like they did in 2019, which is absolutely impressive. I would take that in a heartbeat. Edbicom is a thorn in RW's side. Watch the film. You know what? It could be. Edbicom, he could be a thorn in a lot of people's side because he's really fast. And what we're not thinking about is the fact that you could see him, Bosa, Armstead, and D Ford all on the field at the same time. Now that's speed rush. That's impressive. If you're third and long against the 49ers this year, you might be in a world of hurt, because if you bring those guys and then you blitz Fred Warner as well, 5 guys coming at you, there's no way they can double team everyone. Somebody's getting home. So that would be impressive. But I think you're right. I think Ebicom is going to shock a lot of people. People are thinking mild, production from him. He's going to be impressive, and he's going to be running down some of these quarterbacks. Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson are going to be running. Stafford, he ain't going to have time to run. He's just going to get smacked. Let's see. Dan Stevenson, defenses are really going to be challenged trying to figure out what play we're calling 100%, because they're not going to know by what personnel grouping we have. That's what is the danger about playing Kyle Shanahan with positionless players, guys. When you're playing Kyle Shanahan with positionless players, he can do a whole lot of things, because it might look like he has 5 receivers on the field. But if one of those receivers is Deebo Samuel or Jalen Hurd, that means he's got the opportunity to switch it to a single back set, and then he can run the ball. And if you do that, you catch the defense in a dime package, which means you've got defensive backs trying to make tackles on a big running back like Deebo Samuel or Jalen Hurd, because they are running backs in receiver bodies. So they could be scary to stop. That is 100% accurate, especially in a 2-minute offense. Could be off the charts this year, because you don't know what the 49ers are going to do. If you sit in the wrong package, you leave an extra linebacker on, and then they put someone out there. I think a lot of people thought Jet McKinnon was going to be that answer. He's not. But Jalen Hurd and Deebo Samuel can definitely do it. And that's going to be scary for every other defense. Yeah, JLE, I think that's the big thing, the early bye. I think that is, when I'm looking at it, that's the biggest thing that makes me nervous about the schedule. Because if you remember, the Steelers last year had an early bye. And they were on a hot streak early on, and they were just rolling everyone. And it just seemed like they just wore down. A little by little, they wore down. They didn't have that bye week to recharge the batteries and get going. And it really came back to bite them in the butt. And I hope the 49ers don't have the same issue this year. Hopefully the 49ers are able to handle it. I think, having a different type of offseason this year, they know the expectations. There's going to be, less restrictions than there were last year. They should be able to hold it down. They should be able to get, in the right, spots, to be able to get their bodies in the right spots. I don't know how many of these maintenance days, if you guys don't remember, they had maintenance days where they were giving guys days off last year. But we need more days of the guys in the facility working out with the 49ers spent on the practice field, because that's when you're going to get in football shape and you're going to be able to win battles and win games and stay healthy. And I think also the 49ers are going to be real careful with certain guys. Don't expect to see D Ford on the practice field too much this year. I'm sure they're going to ease, Jalen Hurd along, and they're going to make sure that these guys are healthy because, the best ability is availability, and they need to make sure these guys are available. Yeah, Megan, it is. Niners have so many weapons. It's going to be a nightmare for teams this season. It really is. I mean, as long as they are healthy, this team is, so dangerous. And I think that's the exciting part, is that we have, the fastest running back in the league. We have Deebo Samuel, who can do it all. We have Brandon Ayuk that can stretch the field, make tremendous catches, athletic enough to jump over you, to outrun you, to make you miss. Then you have the possibility of George Kittle getting up the seam, George Kittle beating corners. George Kittle can beat Stephon Gilmore one-on-one. Not a lot of tight ends can do that. You don't have to scheme to get George Kittle open because George Kittle can get open. We just got to get him the football. And then you have hopefully the reemergence of Jalen Hurd, a big slot who you can move all around. You can motion him. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He's really good in quick space. As long as that knee is good and he's pushing off, I haven't seen anything on it yet, but they're just saying he's able to go. And then you add in Travis Benjamin, who can play in the slot and really stretch the field up the seam and get down the field and make sure that safeties have to cover him deep and have to worry about him. He can take the top off. He is a better version of what we had from Goodwin, because he is a more skilled route runner and a better receiver overall, in my opinion. So I think those are some stuff that we really have weapons that we can use that can be successful in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And you just never know what else he pulls out. I think we might see some dual running back, halfback looks this year. Maybe a couple of guys out there together, motion one out. A little bit different stuff. I think there's going to be some creative, fun run games. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, not just those two. You're right. And you can't forget Juice, Dan. You're right. You can't forget Juice because Juice was such a huge signing. Absolutely huge. Bringing him back set the tone for the entire offseason. And he does so much in the run game, with the blocking, lead blocking. He is the linchpin for the run game, 100%. Everywhere he goes, he makes great plays, and he makes, the run game go. As far as Juice goes, I look for them to even do more wham blocking, more creative things. They got bigger on the offensive line. I wonder what that means eventually as far as the run game goes. Could we see not just zone, but some more traditional looks as well? I think it could be coming because there are opportunities for that, especially playing somebody who likes to get up the field a lot like Aaron Donald. He likes to flash up. I think it creates some opportunities for them in the run game. Yes, Jay Ellie, as of right now, my understanding is playoff structured like last year. So you've got the top seed getting the bye, and then, the next seven, or the next seven are playing. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. 7-6. Anyways, the same that we were looking at last year. I know 8 teams make the playoffs, and then they break it down from there. Is it 8? I don't know. Anyways, I remember they added an extra team, so that's what we're looking at. But yeah, it should be a lot of like last year. I think eventually they're going to go to where no bye for playoffs, which will be a big shakeup. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I was used to 1 and 2 getting in the playoffs, but I thought Wild Card Weekend was more exciting with the extra team. The one thing I will say is with them adding a wild card game on Monday Night Football coming up, that it's here to stay, and eventually it'll expand. Benjamin over James, I agree with that, JLE. I think Travis Benjamin is a better option than Richie James. There is a reason Kyle Shanahan brought him in. There is a real reason. He was very successful in Cleveland with Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan can can use him and be successful with him. And a lot of people just forget how good he was. Yes, he struggled a little bit in San Diego / LA. But I think that coming back into Kyle Shanahan's system where he's very successful, we've seen that be very good for receivers, and we could see a resurgence there. And I'm excited about the possibilities with him because you just can't have enough speed. You can't have enough athletic ability. And I think what you're seeing is a little bit of a change, from the Trent Taylor kind of mold to maybe a little bit faster, quicker guy that can get up the field and stretch the field. Yep, I think David Monty, I've been calling for that too. Use Juice more. There is nobody like Kyle Juszczyk in the NFL. No one. He is by far in his own league the best fullback, and the thing is, he has all the tight end skills. I don't know why they don't use him more like Bill Walsh used Tom Rathman. Rathman had years where he 70, 80 catches because he's that fantastic, and this guy is that kind of player. Bill Walsh would have went absolutely ham with this guy. Bill Walsh would have made Juice, we would have been talking about him being in the Hall of Fame already as a running back just because they wouldn't be able to deny all the things that he did because they should definitely scheme some more things for Juice to be successful. Now, of course, they did scheme some things for him to be make big-time plays last year, and quarterbacks missed on it. There were times, maybe like 3 or 4 plays, Juice had big-time plays or at least touchdowns that they didn't execute. So I can't put it all on Kyle Shanahan, but yes, I would love to see an expanded role for Kyle Juszczyk. I mean, they should have a hard time spreading the ball around this year. So that'll be, you're right, that's a big one. Use Juice more. Yeah, okay, so Gary is saying that Benjamin might not be on the roster this year. Gary is buckling down on the fact that he doesn't think Travis Benjamin really helps us out a lot in the return game, and that he thinks that that he's just not going to make the team now, which is crazy to me because he is a very experienced, successful receiver, especially in Kyle Shanahan's system. He's been successful and he can prove it. Dan says it's an interesting schedule. I like that we draw the AFC South. I don't think Jacksonville. Yeah, I think so. I think Jacksonville is going to be that's going to be a big time win. They're not going to be ready yet. I think they're going to build, but it's better to get them right now. In the beginning of Urban Meyer's tenure than later on. Alex Faulkner, if D Ford is healthy, our D line will be dominant again. If not, we might be in trouble. I think if he is, 100% they're going to be dominant again. The one thing I will say is I wouldn't worry if he's not. I wouldn't say that they're not going to be dominant. They still can be dominant because they added Ebukam. They added Kerr. They added Hurst. Those guys are going to be big in the middle. DJ Jones coming back was huge. And you're getting second year of Javon Kinlaw. He will have a huge improvement. This guy is a freak of nature who is figuring out how to play in the NFL. Chris Kasarik never lets us down. And that's who I'm betting on is Chris Kasarik, the defensive line coach, to get these guys ready. But you're right. D Ford, if he's back, this defensive line is elite. Yeah. Dan Stevenson, every game is winnable and many are losable. It's going to be a more competitive league in 2021. I couldn't predict the number of Niner wins, but I think we go to the playoffs. Well, Dan, luckily for you, you don't have to do it because we're going to be doing it, and we're going to put out that episode tomorrow. We're going to go in and we're going to try to predict these games and just see what happens. Of course, injuries can blow a huge hole into it, but it's a lot of fun to do and talk about. So expect that coming out tomorrow at 11 a.m., everyone. So if you're wanting to know what our game predictions are, that's what's going to be coming out tomorrow. That's why I'm trying to do my best not to talk about it, even though I really want to. I really want to be talking about all that right now, but I'm waiting. I'm holding on so that way I can do it with the guys, and you guys can see all of our opinions on it. Gary says Mitchell's very fast, possible wide receiver. Yeah, you know what? You asked this on Twitter, Gary, and I just don't see it. I don't. I think he's a running back. I think the fact that they cut Austin Walter today means that they're creating room in the running back room because they have the guys that they need. The fact that you might have to cut either Hasty, Mitchell, or Gallman, but receiver-wise, I mean, he just doesn't have that skill set right now. Maybe early, maybe. I mean, maybe they could do a receiver thing, but have you seen the receiver talent too? Tremendous receiver talent. Somebody good is getting cut at every single position on this team. That's what you're hoping when you're building a roster, that you're cutting really good players. That is exactly what they're doing. They're cutting really, really, really good players. Let's see. Yeah, Matt Burgos is a Detroit Lions fan, and he says we got a real challenge right outside the gate. Yeah, that'll be fun, though. I think it will. I think if I was a 49er fan, well, I am a 49er fan. If I was a Detroit Lion fan and I saw the Niners on the schedule, might not be the most excited, but as a 49er fan, pretty excited about seeing Detroit. And that it's not on Thanksgiving. I don't like the game. I don't like watching Niners on Thanksgiving. I want to enjoy my feast without having to get nervous and not being able to eat as if I want to eat. Yeah, Dan, Chicago, Lance versus Fields. I think that I talked about this a little bit earlier. I think the 10 o'clock start time kind of signals to me the NFL doesn't believe it's going to be Lance versus Fields. If that game wasn't 10 o'clock specific, if that was a primetime game, or at least in a afternoon window, maybe the 125, primetime game on Fox, game of the week, I think you would be right. It could be. I think they think the 49ers or the Bears aren't going to start one of them. So they're not betting on that being a Lance versus Fields, or that would be a huge, marketed game. So I think that is one. Okay, Alex Faulkner worries about Ebucom producing. As far as Ebucom comes, dude, you got to watch. We broke down Ebucom. You got to watch the video. I don't know if you watched it yet. Dude has a lot of ability. He's still developing, but his hand placement is getting so much better. His first step is not quite as good as D Ford's. I can't say it is as good as his, but it is very good, and it has a potential to be elite. He could develop under Chris Kasarik into a great player. That's why I love the signing, because I thought this was a perfect replacement for D Ford. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, check that out. That video is really good. We really go through his plays and just break down his skill set. He's still developing, 100%. He's still developing, and he's not there yet. But he could get there in a big way. And in fact, I think this year he could break out and he will have more sacks. I'll go out on a limb right now. He will have more sacks if healthy than Kerry Hyder had last year. Yeah, Wilson would be running back to wide receiver. Could be. David Monty, is that 11 a.m. live? I don't know how I'm going to get any work done. Yeah, we'll be we're actually going to be posting the video. It's not going to be live. It will be a pre-recorded video. We can't go live at 11 a.m. tomorrow, but we will put it out there. It will be coming out as a premiere, so you guys can comment on that. If I can, I will jump in the comment section and join in with the conversation as we go, but we are not able to do it live. I'm not going to lie to you and say we can. We still work jobs, and that's kind of part of the issue right there. Let's see what else we got. Okay, any free agents we can bring in to break the glass in case of emergency? Yeah, there's the usual suspects. I mean, right now there's still, Gordon's still out there. I mean, you still got Geno Atkins out there. Of course, you had all the guys that were still on the team last year, that are possibilities, which I really don't want to see them bring back some of the defensive linemen they had last year. So those guys I don't really care for. But there are guys out there right now. How many of those guys make it to training camp? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But there's Everson Griffin's still out there. So there's a lot of successful players that are still available. DJ Hayden, corner, is still out there. But I think I'm with everyone else. I think we're just expecting Richard Sherman to be coming back at this point. Heard rumors is Locker's got some stuff in it already. I don't know how accurate that is. That's a rumor. I see here on this show we admit when things are rumors. We don't try to say that we have sources or anything. This is something that I heard kind of along the wind. Yeah, you're right. A lot of good free agents out there, especially with a salary cap. Guys are going to have to take a lot less money. And I'm curious how many guys the 49ers end up signing. How many guys do the 49ers end up signing still, leaving some money? Of course, you still hear all the crazy rumors about Julio Jones post June 1. If he's going to get moved post June 1, I don't know if the 49ers have the salary cap. But I like to at least pay attention to everything that's out there, to everything that's being said. And he's another one that's being brought up. Let's see. It seems to me that we're going to go at least 7-1 at home, probably 8-0 at home. I think we win a minimum 10 games. Yeah, if we go 7-1 at home, we're winning the division. Because you have road games against Cincinnati, road game against Detroit, against Philly, against Jacksonville. Those are all winnable games. I mean, so right there, if you're 7-1, that's 11, and that's 11 wins, and you're definitely making the playoffs and probably winning the division. So I would think so. So you get the day off. Lucky you, David, that you get the day off. I wish I had that day off, but I do not. If you go 2-3, losing to Green Bay, Seattle, and Arizona, would you start Lance after the bye week? I think that would be the first opportunity, Matt. I think when you're really looking at it, you hit the nail on the head right there. That is the first opportunity for Trey Lance to start coming out of a bye week, especially if you're on a skid. I think that would be the first time you could possibly see it. But, man, losing to Green Bay, Seattle, and Arizona all in a row would make me question the team a little bit because I think that, there's no way they should be going 2-3, in that stretch. They should be at least 3-2 through that stretch. But you're right. That would be Trey Lance time, I think. I think as long as he had an understanding of the offense, Kyle Shanahan would be very tempted and probably would try to, save the season and go with Lance as long as he was capable and ready. Yep, there's a lot of space that needs to be cut, David. You're right. There could be other guys out there, other teams making cuts. You guys saw, I talked about earlier, Zaven Collins is going to be Mike linebacker. So they're telling guys, look for a trade. I think you're going to see other moves like that. People are still looking to free up cap space and make moves. So I think there's a lot of stuff still coming down the way, down the bend for the roster. And I don't think the 49ers are not afraid to make any roster moves. They will do anything they have to do to make this team the best possible team, they can do. They said the quarterback room is not right. We're going to make it, better than it is. This is the best quarterback room the 49ers have had since Kyle Shanahan got there, and it's not close because now they have Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. And I think that you're looking at the running back room, the best that they've had it. You look at the offensive line, the best that they've had it. You look at the tight end position, maybe the one place they can improve, but it's still really good. Defensive line could be the best. You're missing Buck, but they've done their best of adding Kinlaw and adding extra speed on the edge. Like we brought up, if D Ford is back, 100%. Here we go. Linebacking core, added Nathan Jerry. They have Azeez Al-Shaair, who got a lot of experience last year. It's really good, probably better than 2019. Even though I really like Quan Alexander. Quan Alexander was hurt too much and missed too many tackles. And then the secondary, I don't know if it's as good. I really don't. I mean, the one question is that other corner opposite of Jason Verrett going to be as good, as we expect? Because if it's Richard Sherman and he plays better than Mosley played in 2019, then it's an improvement. Okay, Tommy Huxley's here. What's up, Tommy? And he said easy schedule. Oh, he's ready to run it. If you're ready to run it like that, Tommy, what do you think? How many wins do you think they're going to get? I'm curious. We've had in the bag said it was going to be a 14-3. So I'm curious what Tommy thinks if it's going to be 14-3. Yeah, I'm not ready to release what I think it's going to be because I really want to. I break down these games. I look at the time, the matchups, all of that. So I really want to take some time and look into it because, it could be an easy schedule. We'll see. I think anytime you look at the schedule, you see the winnable games that stand out right away, and then after that, what's up, Tommy? How you doing, man? Glad you're on here. We always enjoy having you on here. And hopefully Alex is going to get here pretty soon, and then he can jump on and kind of let everyone know what he thinks about the schedule as well. Yes, you're right, 100%, David. The secondary, if somebody gets hurt, we're in trouble, except at the safety position. But at the cornerback position, you're right, because right now it's Mosley and it's Verrett, and if one of them go down, you're looking at starting what? Ambry Thomas, Dante Johnson. I don't see it. That makes me nervous, so that's why I do think they're going to bring someone in. I think it's going to be Richard Sherman, and they'll let Richard Sherman compete with Emmanuel Mosley in camp, and Richard Sherman will probably win the job because he's just so intelligent and able to play ahead of the ball, recognizes formations, and just does it on a different level than everybody else. But he's still lacking athletic ability and still puts the 49ers in a tough position because he doesn't run man coverage very well. So that is the one question going into it. Still could possibly see the signing of Tony Jefferson at safety as well. 49ers are not done improving this team. As far as Richburg, you know what? I haven't heard anything on Richburg. The last thing we heard was that, possible retirement after June 1. I think that's when we're going to find out is post June 1 if he puts in his retirement papers and, goes on his merry way. Maybe he shocks us and tries to play. I don't know. I think only the 49ers know, and once again, there's no leaks, so everything is just assumptions at this point. Is he going to play? I don't know. I know that there is at least an outside chance, that we could always hope, but I think by him doing the 49ers a solid, that I think that it would lean towards retirement, but I'm not ready to say he's going to retire because I don't know that for certain, and I don't like to put, words or actions on people. I let them make their own decisions and them do what they want to do, and so just got to wait on that. But there's an outside chance Richburg could come in, and what a heck of a battle that would be. But, I think with them getting interior offensive line, they probably think Richburg's retiring, would be my guess. Just a guess, though. Let's see. Yep, we're playing some horrible teams. That's probably right, Tommy. Yeah, you're right, Matt. That it is maybe the toughest division, the NFC West. So that will be some tough games. That is for sure. So apparently Alex is on his way. ETA is about 5 minutes. We shall see. But when he gets here, we'll make sure we add him to the show. So that'll be a lot of fun. What's up, Kenny? I'm glad you're here on the chat. It's always nice to see you here. You always have fun comments and good things to say. Very cool to see you, Kenny. Jags, Bengals, Lions, some of the worst franchises in history. The Vikings. I like that, Tom. You always come up with interesting names for these guys. Yeah, Jags, Bengals, Lions, I think are winnable football games for the 49ers. I mean, right away, those jump off the screen. And, of course, you have to take care of the division, which is important. That Vikings game, I'm not ready to write it off yet as a win, but I do like the fact they're coming to San Francisco, and the 49ers have proven that they can bully ball Zimmer's defense. And they're going to have more of a bully offense this year than they've ever had before. As long as they are healthy, could be some big-time issues for the Vikings. There might not be no skull going on there. They might get scolded, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, Arizona has a brutal schedule. Look it up at Cleveland. You know what, Dan? I'll have to take a look at that. That's one thing I haven't really done yet is I haven't looked at the other NFC West schedules to see how they match up. But we know the Seahawks have to play all the first division champions from around the league. So they have a tough schedule, and then it was going to go according to that. So the 49ers are going to be playing the fourth weakest schedule for our division, which is important. That's what you need. That's how you can really bounce and go far into the playoffs. Is because you have a lot of these winnable games that can get you a very good seed, and then you can make improvements just like you did in 2019. You had a schedule that was very nice to have, and that you were able to be successful having and win. So that was really nice. There's always a team that you lose to that you should definitely beat. Who will be that team this year? Megan, no, we're not going to lose any of those games this year. We're not losing to any team that we should beat. None. We're not losing to them. All right? So let's just get that out of our head. We're going to win all the games we need to win because I think we learned. Because Tommy Huxley put right there, we lost, Atlanta Dirty Birds in 2019. Shouldn't have lost that one. You're right. We shouldn't have lost that one. That was a trap game. We're coming out of a big game and getting ready to go into a big game, and we lost. But I think this team and those leaders learned from that. Back then we had young players, and these guys have grown up, and now they are the ones that are battle-tested. They've won in the playoffs. They've won big games in Seattle, and they've played in a Super Bowl. And when you have a core group that has played in a Super Bowl and you have that experience, you just you just can't teach it. I mean, that's just something that you have to learn, you have to experience. So that is big time for the 49ers. Always have optimism, Gary. Always. So guys, I'm gonna do a CTA real quick, a call to action, and then when I come back, Alex is gonna be here. So get ready for that. We hit 800 subscribers, and it was all because of you. We thank every single one of you. We appreciate it. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified anytime we go live or post a video, which is daily at 11 a.m., Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m., and of course we're always live streaming on Friday at 6:30 p.m., and you will see it this Friday, 6:30 p.m. We're going to be talking about rookie minicamp. It's going to be going strong. That's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you subscribe, like, share this video. If you do, it gets out to everyone. That way everyone can join us and we can have great conversations. We want to have great conversations with you. You are the reason that everything's been going so strong. We're on our way to 1,000. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. This has already been a fun episode. I can't wait to talk about it more. Get into this.
What is going on? What's going on, Cutback community?
Alex is here.
I'm here. We got me here. We got... Oh, that's the wrong one. That should be the right one.
What happened?
I don't know. It's not showing you on the screen. That's really weird.
Did you click off the CTA?
Yeah, I did.
We hit 800 subscribers, and it was all...
I did not. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. Let me see. No, it's still not showing you. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So we're gonna be right back, folks. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can figure out what the heck is going on here with our camera. Por favor, sir. Oh, look at this.
Is it back on?
I don't know what is going on, folks. You'll have to give me 1 second. I'm going to try and figure out what's happening. We'll be right back. All right, chat. Look, we're having some technical difficulties. We're going to stop the stream real quick. We're going to restart it back up. So just come on back here in like 2 seconds. We're going to try and get this thing going. Be right back.
I wonder if it's because it wasn't using it for so long. It just turned off.
All right, Chad. Look, I think we're good now. I think we're good. All right. Here's the deal. I'm here now. Ant is also here. It's not an empty seat. You can see it now, folks.
I'm here. I am definitely here now.
So look, I don't know what happened. OBS decided to be a big butt for whatever reason, and you know what? That's fine. It can be a big butt because I'm late. I'm aware. I know. I'm really sorry. I wish I wasn't late. But at the end of the day, you know, that's kind of what happens sometimes. Sometimes, you know, things come up, and a certain someone has school because he procrastinated for a couple years. So
yeah.
It's all good. Anyway, let's get on to important things here and important stuff that's going on.
And thanks for everyone for hanging on and staying with us. We really appreciate it. We had to make a little bit of adjustments, and you guys are right there. We really appreciate it big time.
Absolutely. Man, look, at the end of the day, the schedule release. I saw some of those games on the schedule, and me oh my, am I excited? Am I pumped about this? I was a little concerned about the week 6 bye. When I saw that, I don't like early season buys because you want that a little bit more towards the end of the season because you get that little bit of a breather there towards the end, maybe even like the halfway point. But you know what? It is what you can't have everything, right? You can't always get what you want.
I mean, I think that was a big concern. The only thing that I think is nice is the way that it comes after, some tough games. That's the only thing you got. You got some really tough games in a row, and then you get to get that bye week. But you're right. I would have rather had it week 8, week 9. Like that would have been where I would want it. Preferably,
especially with what you got coming up after week 8. You got Arizona, you got the Rams, and then you got a little bit of a nice one there in Jacksonville. Which, by the way, I'm super pumped for. As an Urban Meyer guy, as like a guy who's a big fan of Urban Meyer, the fact that we get to play Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars, I just love it. I absolutely love it. My only wish is that it was in San Francisco.
You know what I want? What? I want a Tebow getting smacked by Fred Warner. That's what I want.
I mean, it probably could happen. It really could. But then after that game, like you said it, Minnesota, Seattle, Tennessee, Houston, Los Angeles to finish out the year. Man, a week 8, week 10 bye would have been
lovely.
Would have been great with that finishing schedule. But it does come right after that run of literally Green Bay, Seattle, Arizona, and then a nice bye. And you get the bye to prep for the Colts.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, because that could be a huge game. Matt Burgo says game 1 might go. Since I'm a Lions fan, they barely ever play West Coast, and they suck that bad.
It never
gets televised. That's true.
It's very
they do never. Accurate. Jay Ellie wants us to get a horse cutout for his chair.
And listen, we've talked about it. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Who knows? Maybe it
might be slimming.
That's true. And you know what? The other thing, maybe we'll make that available for everybody, so everyone can have
a horse cutout for everyone.
Horse cutout.
Horse can come to dinner for some people.
Exactly.
I like that.
You know what? We'll give them a little voice activation thing to you. Say, what do you think, horse? And it'll just be a witty horse one-liner.
And some horsey headbands.
Oh, horsey headbands. Always.
I like it.
Always. Megan says that would be funny. It very well could be.
What did you think about the ending game against the Rams? The fact that they've been doing the Seahawks and then now it's the Rams. I think that one is probably the one you can most likely see get flexed because that could be for the division championship. Right now it's slated for 125. Fox ain't going to want to lose it, but NBC's going to want that game more than likely.
Especially if everything goes the way I think people think it's going to go. I think that people are leaning towards Niners, Rams as being the top 2 teams.
Yeah.
Right? And so if those are the top 2 teams in the NFL, or in the NFC West anyway, if those are the top 2 teams, that game has to be on primetime. It's going to have to be flexed. And I think that's the NFL's thought process. I think they think the Seahawks are going to be on the downward spiral this year.
Probably because Russ thinks so too.
I just think, Russ thinks so. And to be honest with you, what did they do?
Yeah.
You didn't really make any big moves in free agency. You didn't do anything crazy trade-wise. You didn't do anything to get any draft capital.
Yeah.
Your team's not really any better than it was. I mean, you can make an argument maybe for Alden Smith, but he ain't gonna fix their run issues to stopping the run. I don't see it. Antonio says Cardinals week 5 first loss of the season. I don't think so. I think the first game,
that one's in Arizona. And are the 49ers really worried about winning in Arizona?
They've actually played better against Arizona in Arizona than they ever have at home.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
There's one guarantee. Wilson is going to catch a touchdown on a circle route.
Absolutely.
Him or Mostert.
Yep. Someone's catching one on a
maybe
circle
Trey Sermon this year. Maybe they'll throw in someone new.
Yeah, you never know. You got to mix it up, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's Jalen Hurd.
Did you hear what I said? Zaven Collins is the new middle linebacker. They announced it today.
Dude.
Yeah.
Remember how we had the conversation of he could eventually become a middle linebacker, and then now he's a middle linebacker. He's not even going to get a chance to grow into it. He just do
him and Isaiah Simmons at linebackers. Chandler Jones on the outside.
Listen, Chandler Jones and Zaven Collins, just those two alone would be great. Isaiah Simmons, man, we'll see if that guy can develop and show some of the stuff that he's shown. My goodness, Tebow won't make it to week 11. Doubtful, Antonio. Doubtful. If you don't think that Tim Tebow is going to stick there in Jacksonville, you're outside of your mind.
Well, he's not officially signed yet.
He is going to be signed.
Urban Meyer says he hasn't decided yet.
Dude, he's decided. Let's bull Pucky. Listen, he's going to get signed, and here's the deal. He is their Taysom Hill. That's what he is. So if you... Way back when.
How's the stream doing?
Stream looks like it's doing fine at the moment. Let me double check here. It was loading a little bit, but it looks like it's
good.
Looks like it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about Tebow. I really don't. Now Dan says way too early playoff prediction for playoff teams. NFC is pretty much the same as last season, except both wild card teams come out of the West, and San Francisco replaces New Orleans as a playoff team. I think when you're looking at it, I think another big question is Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. Because if for some reason Aaron Rodgers pushes this thing into the season, the Bears have a really good opportunity to make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because that's really what it comes down to. But if Aaron's playing, you're right. Green Bay is going to be in it. But I would say the NFC North, could have a changing of the guard if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play early in the season.
Agreed with you there, and that's going to be the big question. I think that's the big thing on a lot of people's mind, and especially on Green Bay Packers' minds, is what is going on with Aaron, what is happening with Aaron, and is everything good out there in Packerland with those cheeseheads? We're going to have to find that out. Megan asked, what game am I looking forward to most? Okay, as an Urban Meyer stan and a 49ers fan, I am looking forward to the giddiness of that Jacksonville game, but the game on the schedule that I am the most excited about is that Week 7 game against the Colts. And the reason why is you get the reunion with Buckner, right? And it's an opportunity for the 49ers to stick it to Carson Wentz. An absolute opportunity. All the Carson Wentz stands out there, it's an opportunity to just let that defense run absolutely wild. You get your revenge game. In Week 2 against Philadelphia. Sorry. No Nick Mullins for you, Philly. No balls being thrown directly at your defenders. Oh, no. You're going to get a healthy Jimmy, or if Jimmy, God forbid something happens to Jimmy before then, Trey Lance. Good luck, Philadelphia. Have fun with that one. Jalen Hurts is going to be, you're going to be in trouble that day.
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts, my bad.
Hurd might be trouble for Philly,
He's going to be trouble for Philly, but Jalen Hurts is going to be hurting for certain.
I seen Dan asking about the 3 wildcard teams. Yes, I believe it's going to be 3 wildcard teams again.
Yeah, they're not changing the playoff.
No, and they added a Monday night playoff for the wild card. I don't know if that takes into effect this year or next year, but it's coming. So those are things that we get to look forward to. I enjoy wild card weekend. It's maybe one of the best weekends. Of course, I would love it even more if the 49ers don't play.
Listen, I would love, I love Wild Card Weekend, especially when the 49ers aren't playing in Wild Card Weekend, but are in the playoffs.
Yeah, when they have that bye week, I enjoy it the most.
It's always good stuff. But yeah, I'd say that game. I'm also looking forward to that Week 10 game, the ESPN Monday night game against the Rams. Yeah, I think because the Niners have pretty much handled the Rams for the entirety of Shanahan's tenure. So that is going to be a game that the Rams, especially if they get off to a hot start, McVay's going to want to get that monkey off of his back, because there's already I'm seeing articles being posted about who's the better coach. People are starting to ask the question, and a few years ago I think they were just thinking McVay was the genius and Shanahan was the upstart, and now I think people are looking at it and being like, maybe he's not so much of a genius, and maybe Shanahan isn't an upstart. He seems to just have his number and that team's number. So McVay's going to want to prove something. That Week 10 game, prime time television, is going to be his opportunity to do it. But listen, at the end of the day, this 49ers team, they're motivated. They have to be motivated. Just the way last season went, all the questions that have arisen surrounding Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. I mean, they're just nonsensical questions being thrown out left and right, dude. If this team doesn't want to go out and go undefeated this year, I would be stunned.
Yeah, what do you think? So far, we've had 2 people kind of put out their season predictions, and both of them said 14-3. I think the other one, Antonio Rosales, is the second one that said it. In the Bag said it earlier, and Tommy Huxley didn't give us an exact amount, but he said the schedule is easy. It's cakewalk, basically.
Tommy did say cakewalk schedule. Look, I don't know if it's a cakewalk schedule. There's some tough games. And by the way, if this is the 4th easiest schedule in the NFC West, good luck, Seattle. Holy cow.
Which might be the reason that Seattle is bringing up the rear this year.
Possibly. They very, very well could be. Look, at the end of the day, I don't think 14-3 is off. I really don't.
I told everyone I'm waiting. I'm not gonna give predictions until tomorrow.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna wait too. I'm not contained myself. But
it was really hard. It's really hard.
14-3 is a really, really good number.
Boy,
11-6 wild card spot. My prediction, barring injury. Yeah, the Niners aren't going 11-6. I'll tell you that right now. They're not going 11-6.
11-6. That's interesting. I don't know. I haven't picked the game, so I don't know if it'll be 11-6 or. And it's still throwing me off that there's 17 games.
Yeah, I'm not used to it yet.
I want to see 11-5, 12-4. Like, those are the numbers I'm used to. Mm-hmm. So it's a little off.
Yeah, seeing 11-6 is like, wait, what? No, how are we doing that? How does that work? It's not the easiest, but you can't really complain about the schedule. I mean, listen, you can't complain about it because you know roughly, like I haven't looked at the other NFC West teams per se, like all of their games. But you know roughly, if this is what ours looks like, I mean, everybody else is going to be a little bit worse. So while this isn't a cakewalk schedule, there are some games that I would consider gimme games, right? Houston, Atlanta, Cincy, Jacksonville.
Well, see, we're the only ones playing Cincy.
That's true. We are the only ones playing Cincinnati.
And that's the thing. We're playing the low-end schedule, and they're playing the division winners.
Yep. And then Detroit, I wouldn't say Detroit is a gimme. But they got the gaff man, so I have. I'm leaning towards gimme.
That's locked and loaded.
All right, I'm leaning towards gimme.
I already shot the arrow across the bow. Nice. It's happening.
Philly, I consider a gimme as well.
Barry Sanders is not walking through that door.
He's not. He's not, and neither is a decent quarterback. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games that I would consider give me games. Those are games that if the Niners don't win and we need wins. I'm wondering if we're going to even make the playoffs. And then there's games that the games I'm comfortable with, right? Like, I'm comfortable with one of the Seattle games. I'm comfortable with both Arizona games. Comfortable with Chicago. Comfortable with one of the Rams. Comfortable with Minnesota. Man, and I don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm comfortable with Tennessee.
Really?
I'm comfortable with Tennessee.
You think they can stop Derrick Henry?
It's Ryan Tannehill.
My big thing was if the 49ers, if Kinlaw and DJ Jones and Zach Kerr and those guys on the inside can stop Derrick Henry, they will win that football game.
Oh yeah, because if you're gonna make Ryan Tannehill try and beat the pressure of the front four, I'll take that. I'll take that every day of the week.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Every day of the week.
He has to be able to do play action to be really, really successful. He's not going to Josh Allen you and drop back and just pick you apart like we got last year.
He's a better Jared Goff. That would be my comparison. He's a better Jared Goff. He needs the play action game. He does really well when he moves the pocket, but he just doesn't make as many mental errors and mistakes.
Antonio Rosales said none of the quarterbacks the 49ers face scare him besides Russell Wilson. And the question is, Alex, do you have any quarterbacks on there that really scare you?
Rodgers is the only one that scared me, but I've seen what the Niners have done to Aaron Rodgers and what they can do to Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not convinced that the Packers did anything worthwhile to make me believe that they've addressed their O-line. Mm-hmm. So I have more confidence in the 49ers. So, no.
Does Kyler Murray scare you?
No. He's short.
Does Russell Wilson still scare you?
Russell Wilson still scares me, but their O-line is so bad that I'm not scared.
See, Russell Wilson doesn't scare me anymore. You know who scares me? DK Metcalf.
Yeah, he big.
But it all comes down to him because, in my opinion, Russ, he hasn't been allowed to cook because he's always running.
That's true. So, but here's the thing, too, and that's the thing that plays into the DK thing, right, is Russ needs time because DK, especially in his longer routes, takes a while to get in and out of his breaks. So the less time Russ has, the less opportunity for DK to be successful. And we saw what happened this year when Russ had time, when the Niners' line was depleted in terms of speed and things of that nature. Man, he was just able to kind of sit back there. He only had to make one guy miss, and then DK had 12 seconds to get across the middle of the field and make a big play. So, man, I can't write off Russell Wilson. I just can't do it until I see the proof. I have to physically see the proof to know that's possible. I'm not willing to do it. He still scares me, not as much as I would say in years past.
Yeah.
Man, but outside of that, no. I will say Trevor Lawrence has the opportunity to scare me.
No.
But he's a rookie coming into a team. I mean, I don't think so either. I
am curious to see what they end up doing with like the Viscous Chenault in this Urban Meyer offense.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah.
Percy Harvin-esque role.
Well, he doesn't have that speed, but he is a positionless player that he can do a lot of stuff with.
Correct.
So that would be something interesting.
Which, by the way, did you see Meyer's comments on his one regret from this draft?
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah. He's going to end up being happy in the long run. Kadarius Toney is overrated.
I think he's very, very high. I think he's a poor man's Percy Harvin. That was my comparison.
Just 1 calorie.
Not even enough. Not even enough.
I don't think so. But I'm looking at some of the comments, and people keep bringing up good points. And this made me think. David Monty said, "No gimme games, just pound, pound, pound."
Listen, the gimme games I would consider to be the pound, pound, pound games. Those are
right.
the games where Jimmy's got to throw 9 times and we can win the game.
That made me think, are 49er fans going to be okay with the Niners throwing it under 20 times a game and just pounding the rock?
Nope.
Because it sure as heck seems like that's what they're going to be doing.
I believe you 100% on that, and I think most 49er fans, the calls for Jimmy's job, if the Niners are running the ball 25, 30 times a game, are going to be loud.
What if they're undefeated?
They're going to be loud. We can do this with Trey Lance. Just put Trey Lance in there, and Trey Lance can just hand the ball. I mean, they're going to be loud. So, man, I don't know. I just don't know. With Kyle Shanahan, you just never know what the idea is. He's not going to put himself into a box either. But I think that's the idea. I think the idea is to come out and just pound the ball down your throat.
Oh yeah,
and just not let up ever at all for anything.
The run game never quits.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to be really shocked when Trey Lance eventually takes over and the run game dominates as well. Because Kyle's not switching. Kyle's not changing.
Tribe with the comment of the day. Y'all know it's fixed. Rams win it all because it's in their stadium. Listen, they can't have the same storyline in back-to-back years.
Yeah, it's true.
Can't have the same storyline, right? Tampa Bay did it last year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom gets back on the throne in his home stadium. Can't have the same storyline twice in a row. Everyone's going to tune out for that storyline. You know what would be an even better storyline is another team from California who was down and out the year before, whose quarterback was on the outs and was left for dead, rises from the ashes in their home state and brings home a Super Bowl trophy. It's a pretty good story.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the story.
Well, and maybe the NFL wants the story to be, is it going to be Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance because Jimmy just won a Super Bowl?
That's going to drive every rating.
You think the NFL didn't know that the last time the 49ers won Super Bowls, they played in Detroit week 1? They absolutely knew.
They did that on purpose.
Of course, this isn't the Silver Dome, but, same thing.
Welcome to the Silver Dome, brother. Oh, goodness. There's nothing like watching the offense run the ball down the defense's throat and it also throw one over the top for a touchdown. 100%.
Agreed.
100%. And that's what's funny, I think, Ant, is when we coached. Both of us have a little bit different philosophies and approach.
Yeah.
But both of us very, 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 very fond of the run game.
Yeah.
You were a much more traditional run game type guy, getting to your spots, being quick. I was much more enjoyed the deception aspect. Yeah. Counters, stupid reverses, traps, things like that. You like your traps and your whams too. Yeah. By the way, still one of my favorite moments as a coach was the very first time I learned about the wham block, and you drawn up our wham play, our big play that we put in the week before a game. And I was like, wham! What? I had heard the term before, but I'd never seen it implemented. And he drew up on the board, and my eyes just got huge. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes, all day, every day.
What was really cool about the wham is, and Matt will remember this. I don't know if Matt went to that clinic or not, but we actually went to a clinic and got to listen to back then the San Diego Chargers run game coordinator actually talk about using wham blocks with Lorenzo Neal. And that's why they developed it, so he could wham block defensive linemen.
And that's scary.
And it was so fun to watch, and those were great clinics to go to because you could learn from the people that literally put it in, that literally created it, and why they did it. And I mean, that's why to me the run game is special. It's fun. Man, that's why I always enjoy Kyle Shanahan's offense.
He finds incredible ways to draw up and basically diagnose a defense and draw up creative run schemes. It's not limited, and he gets a lot of that. He gets a lot of that from the Bill Walshes. He gets a lot of that from his dad as well. I mean, if you watch old highlights of the 49ers back in that time when Mike Shanahan was in San Francisco and Walsh was coaching, man, there's some eerily similar designs, concepts, and just run schemes. They're similar.
Yeah.
And he took a lot of it from him. So he's a perfect fit in San Francisco. It's like coming back to your roots.
Yeah, and he's got the perfect fullback for everything that he does with Kyle Juszczyk. And can he get the perfect piece that I think he always wanted to get with Jalen Hurd back? And if he does, I mean, this offense is about to take off. If you remember right, when I thought it's
going to be lit.
When I thought Jalen Hurd was going to play last year,
oh, yeah.
Do you remember how many points I said that I thought they were going to score a game?
Oh, it was like 38, yeah.
I think it was going to be like 38 points a game because they scored almost 30 points a game the year before. And I thought they could get an extra touchdown with him and like Jordan Reed. So, I mean, that's how much I think he can unlock the offense.
I don't disagree with you. I'm really looking forward to literally 2 years. I'm giddy for like 2 years from now because I'm excited to see what Trey Lance is going to add as well.
I'm giddy for right now.
I mean, listen,
But I understand what you're saying about Trey.
I'm jacked to the tits right now for this year. I'm giddy for the future as well because as much as I want Jimmy to have success in San Francisco, I know at some point that success has to happen without him.
Yeah.
So just, slightly looking ahead, but man, I'll tell you what, this offense this year is going to be diverse, dynamic. If everyone stays healthy, unpredictable. God, Kyle's got everything he needs. He really does.
Yeah.
He really does. And now he's got the schedule. He already can start planning. He's already prepping now. He's sitting down right now at the table with his family. And his wife's like, oh, honey, we're having a nice day. He's like, no, we're not having dinner tonight.
Well, they probably already knew, right? They've probably already been preparing.
That's probably true. They have it.
They've been preparing for, Detroit. And, hey, Dan Campbell, welcome to the NFL. You've been a solid assistant coach. Enjoy yourself.
Have fun week
You
one.
get to stop Kyle Shanahan's offense, huh?
And, you know what? I think it's good, too, for them because for DeMeco Ryans, that's going to be a very, 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 very good test because it's a quarterback he's familiar with.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback that, he helped Saleh with last year and prepped for. So you're coming into a situation now in Detroit with a new coach, quarterback that you're familiar with. They're going to have to play that quarterback strengths.
Yeah.
And we all know what Goff's strengths are, and we all know what his weaknesses are. So you take away those strengths, you make him play through his weaknesses, and you try and capitalize.
And JLE, special teams. As far as what do you want to ask about special teams?
Who's the kick returner? Who?
Me and Gary have a big disagreement.
Or you have questions about special teams.
Me and Gary have a big disagreement still about special teams.
I'm assuming it's about Travis Benjamin, and
he doesn't think Travis Benjamin is a good returner.
So Gary hated our 54-man way too early prediction.
Gary did send me. Well, we kept Richie James too, but Gary sent me stats on Travis Benjamin. Number one, he only had 1 year with the Chargers that he really did a lot of returning, and I think it was like 27 or whatever. But the one thing that Gary didn't realize is that if you look at Richie James' numbers, Travis Benjamin's numbers in that one season were still better than Richie James, and he had one touchdown return for 65 yards. You know how many Richie James has? 0. The big goose.
I didn't have to say 0. I just
knew it. It's like we definitely need to improve it. Maybe it's Ambry Thomas.
David, I agree with you. Anyone can fair catch, including me, San Francisco, if you need someone to fair catch.
Yeah.
Right here.
I mean, yeah, anyone can fair catch, but not anyone can catch the ball.
Accurate.
Because these punters are putting different spin on the ball all the time.
Accurate.
The Patriots literally employ a left-footed kicker just so it's more difficult.
The rotation spins.
Yes. So it is more difficult. So that's why Trent Taylor was always somebody that you could count on to catch the ball. He wasn't going to do anything with it. Mm-mm. But if you just wanted somebody to secure the catch, he was important.
Yep.
So that's when you want Travis Benjamin. Now, the one thing Travis Benjamin did do is fumble the ball. I'll admit that. He has some fumbles, but he's an older player now. Maybe he's not going to do that.
I mean, look,
so he's asking if the special teams is ready.
Are they ready? Listen, I don't know if they're ready. I think there's questions about special teams.
What are your questions about special teams?
Punting, our punter, not being able to flip the field. That's my big one. I've brought this up a few times. I don't believe Wisniewski has the leg to flip the field, and that is a problem.
You know what the offense needs to do? Get first down so he doesn't have to flip the field.
I agree. And then the return game obviously is a question.
Right.
But Ambry Thomas can return. Travis Benjamin here can return.
Maybe Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell also could return. So there's options. I feel there's more options this year than there was.
Shoot, I'm ready to put. I'll put Raheem Mostert back there if I have all these running backs now.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad he used to return kicks, so yeah. I mean we know how explosive he is.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that our bye week is kind of early. It'll be tough down the stretch. Agreed. Very much agreed.
Yeah.
I thought there was some interesting preseason games. Kansas City to start, at the Chargers as well. That's not a bad one. The Vegas Raiders, the last one. Cool. That's great, but who cares? Because I just want the season to start.
Well, and that one is, I mean, the dress rehearsal is against the Chargers.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last time you're going to see the starters.
Week 3 is going to be a heavy dose of Trey Lance, I think.
Yeah, maybe not even Trey Lance. That might be when you see Rosen versus Sudfeld. They might be going for that job. You might see Lance for maybe one quarter.
Maybe. So you think he gets most of his reps against Kansas City?
I think so. I think he's going to play I think Jimmy will play 1 or 2 series, and then I think after that you'll see Trey Lance for probably, the whole second quarter, maybe part of the third, and then you'll see the other 2 guys or maybe even one of them.
Okay.
I don't think you'll see Josh Johnson
at all. Do you think you'll get rid of him before that?
Maybe not, because I still want him for a camp body.
That's true.
It's not bad to have camp quarterbacks. But they cut Walter today, so I mean they're definitely making room. They are making roster spots. They're up to something. Something is simmering in San Francisco.
That's accurate.
And what are they doing? I don't know. Horst was the one that told me that allegedly Richard Sherman's locker has stuff in it all of a sudden. I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know where he got it from, but like I said, we're saying it's a rumor. It's definitely not confirmed. I don't know his sources. So
yeah, we won't. We're not going to be those types of
we're definitely not those guys.
Shows. So don't worry about it, folks. The 49ers don't leak, and so we'll find out about Richard Sherman when everyone else does.
Yeah,
when everyone else does. Rosen versus Sudafed, literal. Super strength Sudafed and Rosen and daytime Sudafed and Nate Sudfeld.
Yeah.
It'll be a snooze fest.
The one thing to watch too is Grant Cohn's reaction if his boy gets cut.
Oh no! Shanahan's the worst.
Hey, because he has been putting all that he had stock in Rosen starting this year.
Yeah, I'm aware he's a dummy.
And now it's even his own
sorry for the negativity.
Even his own dad doesn't think Rosen's going to make the team.
Love you too, Pops. Love you too. San Francisco. I'll be at the Titans game right up the road from Memphis.
Ooh.
Jelly.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one, and you guys will be at full capacity by that point.
Yeah, he's going to, San Francisco's going to have to send us some pictures of that one.
Send us some stuff, man.
Yeah, that's big time there.
Get a good. We want some reaction here on the podcast. We'll put that stuff up. We'll put it up in our post game reaction show.
For sure, that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
In fact, I would love for everyone to start sending us, if they go to games this year, send us some stuff.
Send us pics.
Yeah.
Send us footage.
Yeah.
Send us clips if you guys are at a game this year. Sure.
Especially want to see the celebrations afterwards. Like if you guys are celebrating the big win, send it to us.
Definitely.
We'll have our own little winner circle.
Make sure it's appropriate.
Yeah.
YouTube community guidelines and such.
We could be doing bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because hopefully by that point, we're at 1,000 subs, and then we have to start following extra special YouTube rules.
We'll be at 1,000 subs, yeah.
Hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. That's a nice sub plug right there.
Yeah,
a nice sub plug. Man, though, I just this can't get here. September 12th literally cannot get here quick enough now.
Yeah, I mean
literally can't.
The NFL is the best at off season of any of the leagues because. They hit us with free agency. We're excited. And then here comes the draft. And it was a ways away, but it felt like every day there was another story.
Yep.
Then here comes the draft, and then they know you're going to get over the draft, and then boom, here comes the release.
Schedule release.
And guess what? 30 teams are having rookie minicamp this weekend.
Yep.
And then you're going to have a few weeks. They're going to relax, and guess what? Here comes they're going to be doing OTAs through this time, but they're going to have mini camps coming up.
Yep.
And we're going to be getting right into it in June again. It's like these guys do it better than everyone because football is year-round and is always exciting to talk about.
It just doesn't get boring, man. It doesn't ever let up.
No, I could literally talk about this stuff all day, every day.
Man, we don't have to resort to doing like reactions of things. We can just Oh, lol. LOL! It was funny. It was good stuff.
Yeah, Jag is correct.
I mean,
100%.
He's almost always wrong. He's almost never, ever right. Look, I had a conversation with someone who was very upset in one of the Facebook groups I'm in about our 49ers Don't Leak video. Very upset. Didn't appreciate us calling out the talking heads.
Ooh.
Didn't appreciate us calling out Grant Cohn for making up stories.
Oh.
Didn't appreciate, I mean, we didn't really call him out. We just called out everybody. Didn't appreciate any of those things because, no, they were actually all true. Did you know that?
Oh.
We did call about Dalton.
Oh.
We did make a trade for Aaron Rodgers that they rejected.
Cool.
You know, we did do all of these things. And I was like, okay, where? And he cited Grant Cohn. Literally cited Grant Cohn. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So none of those things.
The fact that we didn't mention Grant Cohn and we still got a response from a loyalist means we threw a rock into a group of puppies and the one that got hit is the one that yelled. So definitely.
So you mean to tell me we hit the nail on the head, Ant?
I'm pretty sure. Okay. I mean, if we were going to have a local guy, I think we could put him up there with Lombardi and all them.
It's true.
He takes no L's.
No, none of them do.
You know,
they don't take L's very well.
Yes, Blake Bortles.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. Oh,
yikes. Oh, man. It's getting real bad out there.
Well, maybe the Packers could sign Rosen once the Niners cut him.
Possibly. I mean, can we be real here? If Jordan Love isn't suited up this year and on the active roster, it's not just one of the worst draft day trades of all time, moves to get a quarterback. How does anyone keep their job? How does that GM keep his job?
Right.
How does the coach keep his job?
Well, I think I thought I heard reports that they were offered a second-round pick for him and they turned it down.
Someone offered a second-round pick?
Someone offered a second-round pick and they turned it down because they have a lot of faith in him. That they knew he was developmental, but they think he's going to be ready to go in a couple years.
Why in the world?
They think he's going to be ready to go next year.
But why would you trade up to get a guy that was projected in round 2 or round 3?
Because they wanted a receiver, and the 49ers jumped up and took their receiver.
Oh, you think it was, they're going to go after Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, they admitted they were going up to get a receiver. They just won't admit who it was.
It was Brandon Ayuk?
Probably.
Shannon, you freaking... How much you want to bet him and LaFleur sat down at the LaFleur family dinner since LaFleur was still in San Francisco at the time? They sat down for a nice LaFleur-Shanahan family dinner, and we're talking about receivers. And he was like, this is a really good guy out of Arizona State. Brandon Ayuk, he's pretty talented. Shannon was like, yeah, he is pretty talented. and then it was just like, what you don't know is he's going to be a 49er in a few months.
Probably.
Bad first-round picks happen more often than you think.
100%.
I mean, yeah, no, absolutely, Matt. 100%. That's every year. There's at least a handful. At the very least, a handful. It happens all of the time. All of the time. Man,
San Francisco, he liked our video where we called out everyone.
Oh. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, someone needed to say something, right?
Yeah.
Because it's getting ridiculous at this point. It's getting out of hand.
Well, I think we just got to keep it real. You know what I mean? 100%. Because when we're wrong, we admit when we're wrong. That's the one thing we're going to say about that.
And we own it.
We'll own it. You know what I mean? Shoot, I admitted when I was wrong about Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, you were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I took it. But you know who I was right about? Chase Claypool. So I was okay with that.
It balances out.
You can't be right about everybody. But you got to take your L's. And I was wrong about that.
I mean, listen, here's the thing, though, too. It was really hard to tell with Justin Jefferson because of all the talent that was in that LSU team.
Yeah.
Someone was going to be right. There were plenty of people calling him a bust, and there were plenty of people saying he was the breakout star of that.
I didn't think he was a bust. I just didn't think he was a first-round
talent receiver.
But a second round, I would 100% did it. Only because I thought he was more pigeonholed to the slot.
Well, and here's the thing, though,
because
too.
of
Jamar Chase. Yeah. But here's the thing on that too, and this is the thing that's kind of people forget also, is how many other teams probably felt that way about him.
Oh, I'm sure there was a few.
Probably every other team that didn't make a move up to get him, or every other team before him. Before that he got picked by Minnesota that didn't take him. There's a lot of teams that just didn't feel that way about him and felt that he was better suited as a second round talent. You're not necessarily wrong, because this is the thing. If this last season, his rookie year, was his best year, you weren't technically wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
He just, he peaked as a rookie. And that's sad. Did they replace our strength and conditioning coaches? I hope they can prevent our injuries, which is the only thing that can make things hard. But our depth should be vastly improved. Look, I don't know how much of it you can blame on the strength and conditioning coach. Last year was just a weird year.
And no, they didn't replace him either.
It's the same staff.
Yeah, they replaced him a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was a weird year, and I think a lot of people are forgetting, and Alex, you've worked in that field. You know that having to move everything outside, changing the social distancing, all of that things could have, changed the way that they were doing things, could affect how they perform.
Well, not just that, but the whole mask thing.
Yeah.
Try running in heat with a mask on, full speed.
That's
for
not fun.
Long periods of time. I mean, there was a good chance that they basically were just kind of like, listen, don't push yourself too hard. We don't want you going 100%, especially with the mask on.
Yeah.
Or they were saying essentially, you're going to go full speed. You're going to do everything in full speed 100% with the mask on. But we're shortening everything to 5-10 minute intervals. Like you're going to work hard for 5 minutes and then we're going to sit for 10. We're going to, easy for 10 to 15 minutes. And so your body it just does weird things. And when you're an athlete, a high level athlete, routine is key.
Right.
Routine. You have your routine, you have your methodology, how you approach, how you prepare, how you get healthy, how you stay in shape, all those things. And when that's interrupted, it can take one day can throw you off for months.
Well, and they shortened training camp.
Yeah.
So they got less work.
Yep.
Less time to get in shape because anyone that played football knows this. If you are playing football, you are getting in football shape. If you're not playing football, you're not in football shape. I don't care how much you work out. There is in shape and there's in football shape.
Hey, Caleb, you ain't wrong. Hopefully Wojcicki's not watching this right now because of what I just said. Listen, though, here's the thing. Maybe, but, it would be hard with the girl who just passed out, the cross-country runner in Georgia who just passed out running her best time. While wearing a mask.
I wasn't aware. I don't watch any of that. If it's not 49ers, I probably haven't watched it.
I try and, diversify.
I don't. I've changed my life to 49ers all day.
So all 49ers all day?
All day, every day. David Monty wants to know if we think there's a defensive back that we could pick up besides Richard Sherman. Yeah, I think so.
Do you think so?
Yeah, DJ Hayden.
Oh, snap, I forgot.
Maybe. You know what I mean? I think Sherman is still the leader in the clubhouse.
Well, yeah, he knows the system.
Right.
Locker room presence, veteran presence.
I think if push came to shove, you could see a possible trade for somebody, but I think that Sherman makes the most sense with a low base salary, maybe with incentives that accelerate.
Yeah, I can see that.
How low that is going to be, though, Richard Sherman, I don't know if he's going to take that much, less.
It's hard to tell with Richard Sherman.
It is.
He wants to get paid.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him.
I mean, how many more years does he actually have left?
He's probably got
2 years left.
One.
And his opportunity to play in San Francisco, he has an opportunity to win a championship, which I think he would love to do. He'd love the swan song, 49ers walk out. Basically he made the right decision leaving Seattle. He went and won a championship.
True. 49er fits a day. He keeps the COVIDs away. That is very creative. Sir, gold star for you.
It works for me.
It works for me too.
I do enjoy it.
That's part of the reason why we switched to a video a day. That was the reason.
It was a big reason.
That was the main reason, actually.
Yeah. Was it?
Who knows?
It gave us more time to make videos.
It's true too. Thanks, COVID. Listen, people. I've heard plenty of people talk about how awful 2020 was for them, and I know there's people out there. For us here on the cutback, it was great and gave us an opportunity to delve into this. And I know there's a lot of people who feel the same way too. So COVID actually did some good.
For some people.
Yeah. And obviously a lot of bad for a lot of other people.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I will not miss about 2020 is all the injuries to the 49ers.
That is for sure.
I mean, I said before you came that I think the biggest challenge for the 49ers is just to not beat themselves, not, suffer the injuries and to make mistakes.
Beyond the field and available?
Yeah, I think that those are the big things. Another exciting thing we have coming here pretty soon is rookie minicamp. We've got rookie minicamp coming up. It is about to go crazy because Trey Lance is going to be on the field. You got Trey Sermon, Embry Thomas. He's already looking for restaurants. He's out here. He realizes how much it costs to live in California. Sorry about that, yo.
Yikes.
It's good. That's not very fun. But you know what? They're all going to be out here, and this is going to be our first look at those guys wearing red and gold. And we're going to have a lot of fun stuff to talk about that too because. Hey, now it's here. I mean, they're starting everything. OTAs, everything is getting going. The season is on its way. Tommy Huxley's on leg day.
Hey, Tommy, listen. Leg days are for Tuesdays. Wednesdays are arms, my dude. So I don't know what you're doing. Leg day's tomorrow. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, my guy. Get on it. Get on it. Jag says, if you had to bet, do you think Jalen Hurd and Juwan Jennings contribute to the team? I would bet more on Jalen Hurd than I would Juwan Jennings. But there's an opportunity and possibility for Juwan Jennings to pull it off. I would just say that Jalen Hurd is the leader in the clubhouse to be the breakout star of the 49ers offense this season.
You know, it really scares me to talk too much about Jalen Hurd because I like that ability, so much. But he has gotten hurt 2 years in a row, and I'm just like gun shy at this point. I'm like, come on. You know what I mean? And but I think if Jalen Hurd is healthy, not only will he make an impact, he will make a huge impact on this team. Watch defenses scramble to figure out what San Francisco is going to do, the way that they're going to manipulate defensive personnel groupings with these skill players, because all those guys can do stuff and all those guys can run fly sweeps. So that's going to be fun. And I can't wait to see what happens with Jalen Hurd, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk on the field at the same time, George Kittle. Just so many sets, Juice out there. And I want to see how many times they actually run the ball with Jalen Hurd.
Yeah, that's going to be I think that's the most interesting one for me.
The one thing I will say about Juwan Jennings is if you're looking for someone to take over the Kendrick Bourne, as far as catching pivotal third downs, possession receiver, he's that kind of guy. The only difference is he struggles to get separation, so he's got to use his big body. And I know he dropped a lot of balls last year in training camp, so he's going to have to fix that. He really needs to make those catches. But dude is a great player after the catch as far as the run. Breaks a lot of tackles, is big and physical. So whenever you have that, you have an opportunity to be a big player for the 49ers.
Yeah, and he's had plenty of time to recover. He's had plenty of time to recuperate. That happened very, very early last year in training camp. So, I just get through. Just get through, get to season. I will feel comfortable with Jalen Hurd after like week 5. If we get to the bye week and Jalen Hurd isn't injured yet,
I think if we get through week 1, I'll be good to go.
No,
I'll order my Jalen Hurd jersey.
I gotta get to the bye week. I
just want to make sure he's going to. I'm going all in on Jalen Hurd. I just need to make sure that he gets
on the field.
No, he chooses the number, because even after training camp, they can switch numbers, and that'd be my goal. I'd get a Jalen Hurd 14, and then all of a sudden he would change to 17 or
36
or some other single digit number.
57.
Great.
No.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's why Trey Sermon's 22.
That's smart. No one can wear Steve Young's jersey ever again. I think those should be. I think Steve, Montana, and Rice probably should be the only untouchable numbers in San Francisco.
You think so? Just those two?
Those three?
Those three?
There's arguments to be made.
Ronnie Lott?
There's arguments to be made.
Maybe the greatest secondary player of all time?
There are definitely arguments to be made.
Yeah.
There are definitely arguments to be made. Will Jalen Hurd be on the team as a receiver or running back?
Receiver.
A receiver.
He's a receiver that can do running back things, just like Deebo Samuel.
It's true. Except Jalen probably does them better.
You think there's any doubt what Kyle Shanahan was thinking in that draft when he drafted Deebo Samuel in round 2 and Jalen Hurd in round 3?
No, he knew exactly
what he was doing. He was like, oh, I need big time pieces for my board. I need guys that can go anywhere and do anything. Oh, let's grab these two guys.
It's an interesting one, Dan. I'd love it if you guys did a piece on early playoff predictions. I'm interested in how you think the AFC East North shake out. Will Denver and Miami replace Baltimore and Tennessee?
Ooh.
We'll have to consider it.
Yeah.
We'll have to consider it. We've talked about and toyed around with the idea of talking about other NFL teams. But for the most part, we're 49ers fans. We want to focus on 49ers fans. But hey, you know what? That's a great point. Hit that like button right now too if you want to see more of that type of content. If you want to see us cover more things other than just the 49ers and expand out a little bit, let us know. We're always open to new ideas. We're always open to adding things to the show and to the schedule, because at the end of the day, it's not just us.
Yeah,
we got you guys, so let us know about it for sure.
Yeah, I think there is going to be a lot of cool playoff matchups too. I think it's going to be harder to predict than ever because you got the 17-game season. But
no side pieces, Tommy. No side
pieces.
No. It's a bid, Tommy. It's bid. It's a bid, Tommy. I should put you in timeout, Tommy. I should do it. Strike one. Strike one, Tommy. Strike one. It's a bad, Tommy.
So, I mean, was there anything that shocked you about the schedule?
I think the only thing that was shocking for me was seeing Green Bay on the schedule again. Where they were week 3. I figured that was going to be something they put in the middle to end of the year sort of game. That one shocked me a little bit. And then seeing the Cincy game, week 14. I expected that to be end of the schedule or beginning of the schedule.
I knew it wasn't going to be the end.
I figured it was going to be somewhere beginning or end of the schedule. And just kind of see it just after the midpoint of that schedule was a little surprising. I think the big one to me, too, that is a little bit surprising is, was it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I just have 5 primetime games, dude.
Yeah, that's the max you can have.
I know. I know.
You know what I like?
It just surprised me because of how last season went.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't expect.
Oh, NFL knows what's up.
I know what's up. I know.
They want Kyle Shanahan out there. They want all the primetime. Fred Warner, George Kittle. George Kittle, moves the needle for a lot of people. Explosive offense, great defense. Nick Bosa. What's not to love? The one thing I was excited about is not as many Thursday night games. I prefer to have Sunday night or Monday night games.
But yes.
So let's not give that many Thursday night games.
Yeah. NFL, do us a solid for the channel sake. Let's not do Thursday night game.
I'll tell you the other thing. A lot of 10 a.m. Pacific games.
I did see that. A lot of 10 a.m. Pacific games.
Detroit, Jacksonville, Philly, Chicago. Those are all 10 o'clock starts.
It's true. You guys do any live game watch-alongs?
We are this year.
We're going to do some.
Yeah.
Especially the big ones.
Yeah.
Especially the big ones. The only thing is with YouTube, I don't know how much of the graphic we'll be able to put up of the game. Might be able to cut to a little bit of the game. A little tiny bit. But we got to play that carefully because we don't want copyright strikes.
I think more like we'll be giving reaction to what's going on.
More like reaction. We'll probably have a nice graphic up of like ESPN's live play-by-play thing of them showing like, oh, this person just completed a pass with this many yards and a first down. We'll have that up.
Yeah, well, that we can do.
Yeah, that's easy. That's not.
We have to play by the rules to a point.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
But yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I don't know how many people were there from the beginning with us. We made it through all of the regular season last year, and I think you can expect an expanded calendar. And we're going to do a lot more stuff, and we're going to have a lot more fun. We're definitely a lot more, ready for, I guess, what's to be expected.
The expansion we can handle now.
Yeah,
we can handle. We tried to play it. I wouldn't say safe. We tried to play it smart last year,
right?
With the podcast releasing and everything going on, we tried not to stretch ourselves too thin. We tried not to put like big burdens in terms of, complicated ideas, I guess. We just wanted to get used to the grind of the schedule and what it means to do this and to do this, as close to full-time as possible. And I think all of us, for the most part, are fairly comfortable. I know I can speak a little bit more for the two of us here in the room. We definitely feel like we're ready to handle more.
Oh, definitely. I'm excited about everything.
Any info on whether D Ford is progressing well with his training? No.
I mean, the only things we've heard is just what John Lynch said, that he's working out at the facility and that he looks good and basically he's where they expected him to be and they're hopeful. I think that's the thing. They're hopeful. That's a little bit better than what John Lynch said earlier in the year when he said, you just never know with backs. So we're going from you just never know with backs to hopeful. I will take it as a nice progress. So hopefully we do get D Ford because I think that would be huge. One thing to remember: don't expect to see D Ford practicing very much at training camp at all. Maybe
don't panic. Yeah, don't panic when it's like D Ford hasn't done a single drill, and he's probably not doing anything.
A lot of people don't know that in 2018 when he played for the Chiefs, he rarely practiced. He mainly did walkthroughs and learned what he was supposed to do in the game plan. That was it.
Sure. Sac Francisco, great question here. If the 49ers have done so much to strengthen the O-line and fortify the run game, why does the fan base expect Jimmy G to get hurt so quick? Because, I'm not 100% sure. Listen, I think we're both on board here that we think the 49ers are going to be a heavy run game team. They're going to establish the run 20, 30 times a game. You'll be lucky to see Jimmy throwing more than 25 passes a game as the norm. I would expect, Jimmy to be a guy who's throwing 22, 24 passes a lot of the times. And there'll be a lot of play action first down throws. So non-pressure throws. Yeah. Throws where you're going to try and catch the defense sleeping and be able to take a shot, or you're scheming a guy one-on-one in matchups because they're having to play 11-on-11 football.
I think a thing to keep an eye on is remember that in 2018, he got hurt on a non-contact injury, stepping and then planning and that knee went. And then in 2019, he had Richburg and Garland, who both understand the offense and know it well, for the entire season. He stayed healthy. Last year, he lost Richburg before the season started. Actually, Richburg never came back. And Garland early on in the season, and then he got hurt. So let's see if he can stay healthy once he has a solid center. And Alex Mack should be able to keep him upright and healthy. They're not going to run right over Alex Mack like they did Ron Esgracia.
David, that is hopefully not true. The wind is why he will get hurt.
Oh, gosh.
I hope that's not true. I really hope it's not true. But here's the thing. If it is true, then Shanahan and Lynch did the right thing in going out and getting a young quarterback whose name isn't Nick Mullins.
Yeah. Was that the question that we asked about strengthen the O-line to fortify the run game?
Yeah, that was Sac Franciscus. Jared Goff is about to throw us 5 picks. It's gaff.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted, Tommy. It's gaff.
Me and Alex did go to a game where a quarterback threw like 5 picks.
What game was that?
That was the Chicago Bears. Remember when Singletary was the coach?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they threw it was like 12-10. It was a terrible game.
It was an atrocious game. Like, we legitimately thought the Niners were going to lose, and I thought that was going to end my fun tidbit before I finish the story, folks. I've never been at a game where the Niners have lost.
Yeah.
Not a single game. The catch 2 against Green Bay in the playoffs, I was there in the end zone. The catch 2 happened in. We didn't lose. The big comeback game, Steve Young against Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning's rookie year, where they were down like 28 or 21, I think is what it was. I was there. Didn't leave the game. Everyone else, a lot of people left early that day. Not me. You can't see my face in there, but went to a Giants game in 1995. We won that one. That Bears game with Ant, we won that one too.
It's true.
We did. It was an ugly game that I thought was going to end the streak.
Oh, it was a terrible game.
But the Niners pulled it out.
Probably the most exciting part of that game was when the fight happened behind us between the fans and the security guards.
Yep. People were not very happy that night. They were very upset.
The
they
Bears.
had every right to be.
Bears.
It was not a good game at all. Tommy, I'm not going to jinx it. Every time I get out of a 49ers game now, it's the first thing that comes out of my mouth is still undefeated. Still haven't been to a game where they've lost. The year that Blaine Gabbert was the quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Yeah.
He won 2 games that year, I believe, as the starter.
Yeah.
2 games, folks. I was at one of those wins, the Baltimore game. Mm-hmm. I was there.
Yeah, as far as I see David Campbell talking about, D Ford not practicing and then going out and playing in games, the one thing you'll have to remember about D Ford is, number one, he's going to be playing very sparingly because he's going to be a rotational guy who plays mainly on third downs. So he's coming in and rushing. You're talking, this guy's probably going to play, 18 to 20 snaps tops a game. Mm. That is max. You're not going to see him out there on first down, trying to stop the run. So it is a different style of play. He's not going to take as much contact as he would if he was trying to, stop a run play and set the edge. He's really just trying to speed rush around the outside. You're right, there is a risk of him getting hurt. I think there's a risk for everyone to get hurt. And, of course, not taking that beating in practice. But really what you're talking about is not as much live stuff and him working on bags and sleds and stuff like that, which he can handle and will still get his body prepared to be able to handle, the 18 to 20 snaps. And
that's the thing. No one, I don't think, there are ways as a coach that you adopt things for players to get them prepared and ready for games. And when you got a guy who's got injuries and problems and issues, if the grind, the physical contact, the grind of an NFL season and practices, if that is the true problem and issue, then there are ways around that. Because I think a lot of the issue with D Ford, it isn't that he can't stay healthy because he's got some sort of degenerate disease and he's just brittle boned. It's just the grind. It's the physical demand on the body with the position that he plays and the injuries that he currently already has.
Yeah.
If you can limit the amount of contact that he has while still preparing getting himself physically and mentally in shape and ready to compete and able to compete, you limit the opportunities and the chances for him to actually get hurt. And I think that's the idea here in the mindset. These are professional athletes. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. This isn't your Joe Schmo run-of-the-mill high school team or even a college team where, your best player may not be a pro athlete.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same. So these guys' bodies and their minds and just the things they do, they're the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah.
That's why they're in the position that they're in. They are the elite of the elite. Standard rules for us normal folks in everyday life, if I can't go play pickup basketball and play full speed. My body will literally kill me. It will do everything it's possible to get me to stop. I'm not the 1% of the 1%. I've had to learn to cope and deal with that. These guys don't fall in that category. Yeah. The rules that apply for us normal folks don't always apply to them, especially in the athleticism category and the physical category.
Yeah. You know what, Tommy? Going to games in Santa Clara is fun. I enjoyed it. My favorite was actually sitting in the box seats.
You said them again.
That was so good. Just free food, free everything. Got to go down on the field before the game. That was wonderful. That was a really good time. But there is something special about the games at the Stick that I got to go to over the years. Probably my favorite one I went to was the Mariucci return with the Detroit Lions to play the Niners. Terrell Owens going off and just obliterating them. And I remember him going like 80 yards, and it felt like 2 seconds. That's how fast it felt like he was running. Even though it took much longer than that. Just it was so fast, and that was crazy. The Stick had that damp, just different electric atmosphere. It's also a very fun place to watch a baseball game.
It was.
There's just a different atmosphere and stuff there, but I would say that both those places, I think, too, a lot of people are coming around on Levi's. Levi's is growing on people, and it will have that feel eventually. It's starting to get the big games in there, so it'll get the tradition and the culture, and everything will be good.
Yeah, I think that's just one of the things that you get. That's part of the trade-off when you get a new stadium.
Yeah.
Is you lose some of the history and the mystique and the prestige, and you got to start that all over again. You got to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And that's what San Francisco has been trying to do. That's what the Niners are doing now in Santa Clara. I can tell you I've been around the stadium a lot. I've been not to a bunch of games per se, but I mean, I had season passes to
Great America
right down the street. So I was literally
just on Top Gun or Drop Zone.
Oh, dude,
there it is.
All the time. I was like, it's Levi's right there. I used to just stare at it. We'd walk back out to the car. We'd get in the park and just stare at it. Just be like, I'll be back for a game. I promise. So no, at the end of the day, yeah, Santa Clara Levi's is incredible. I like it a lot. Yeah. Who will win the right guard spot from Jag? We're all going to have different opinions here. It's probably not going to be Aaron Banks. I know.
I think it's going to be a battle between Banks and Brunskill.
I think Banks can take the spot over at some point. I just don't think it's week 1.
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
I am curious what happens with Brunskill and Banks. I think Brunskill has the lead because he already understands the offense. He's played the position, and he has chemistry with Mike McGlinchey already. But I think Banks is going to push him. I think that's going to be real close because Banks has that size, and if he can get those blocks down and be able to run the zone blocking scheme, maybe. But I would still say Brunskill is the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah, listen, I think after week 10 is where you start to see Banks. If Banks is going to make a push for that job, that's where it happens. Because I think Brunskill has a stranglehold right now. That's my personal belief, and it's a lot of things you just said, the zone scheme aspect of things that Banks is going to have to be able to do and prove that he can do. I don't think there's enough time for him to pick it up at the NFL level before then. I think by week 10, you're going to get a good idea of where Banks is, number 1, and it's Brunskill's final test because you get Aaron Donald yet again. And if it's all pro Daniel Brunskill going up against Aaron Donald, it's his job. He will keep the job if he shows out that game.
Yeah.
It'll be his job for the rest of the season.
Well, I think Brunskill understands that he has to earn it, too. He's not somebody that's going to feel entitled. He's going to go out there and compete. And they're going to be going against some of the best defensive linemen. That is where I think that Banks is going to have the advantage at practice because Brunskill is going to be going against Kerr and Jones and Hurst and Key and Armstead. And it's going to be like, oh, okay, here comes another guy. And here comes Givens. And here it's just nonstop. And Banks is going to be like, yeah, I'm bigger than all you. You know, I mean, he's as big as Kerr, and it's like...
Get in my bed!
Where McGlinchey and Brunskill are going to give up a lot of weight to those guys.
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully not as much McGlinchey as previous years.
No, McGlinchey's going to be well over 300 pounds again.
Thank God.
And he if you haven't seen him, he's jacked.
Oh, he looks big.
Yeah.
He looks big. I like it.
He's going more Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I just went, every time I see a picture of Mike McGlinchey now, I just went from 6 to midnight.
No, none of that.
No. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Alex doesn't like legs or ZZ Top. That's incorrect, Tommy Huxley. I squatted 500 pounds in high school.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah, that's impressive.
No, that's my claim to fame. That's the only good thing I did. That was it. Wasn't my grades. Wasn't being an Ollie punter. Captain of two sport. Nope. Squatting 500 pounds. That was it. I have a great appreciation for legs. Unfortunately, I was at the Eagles versus Niners when they took Steve Young out. I got into a fight with some obnoxious Eagles fans. Man, Jag. That's pretty crazy, my dude.
Well, it's not easy with the Eagles fans either.
Nah. Philly fans at times can be a little over the top. Just a little bit.
Games can get a little rambunctious with different fans there.
I mean, yeah, look, Philly fans, they'll get rambunctious. Seattle fans, no.
49er fans.
Yeah, with 49ers fans, absolutely.
49er fans on 49er fans.
Yeah, that happens. That definitely happens. Chicago fans also. Yeah. That could happen with 100%.
We saw that. You got nachos on you for that one.
I did get nachos on me for that one. Jag got escorted out.
Wow.
They didn't kick you out for life, did they?
Wow.
Did they like take a picture of your ID card and they're like, don't you ever come back here?
That's like
and then they went to Levi's and then he showed up and they were like, I told you couldn't be here.
It's the time me and Horst went with a guy and he gave us season tickets and then he never sat with us. He was like sitting off all by himself drinking beer. It was like...
Megan, no, they freaking light their cities on fire after a Super Bowl. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Hey,
you can't blame Philly for doing that. They also grease their light poles so that people won't climb them, you know?
You ever see the celebration where the guy is wearing the Dawkins jersey and he's running on the subway, like next to the subway, and he freaking hits the pole?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be one of my favorites.
Those are great. It's a great meme. It's a great moment. Niners game against the Raiders in Oakland is something to see, except it's not in Oakland. It's not in Oakland. It's in Vegas now, David.
Well, now
it is. But you're talking about a Niners game. You're talking about fan-wise. Yeah, no, a Niners game at the Coliseum. So just a dangerous cocktail combination of only the bravest of 49ers fans rolling to the Coliseum for Niners.
Quick story about that. I went to a Saints Raiders game.
I remember this.
I had people that I knew that were Saints fans. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people because when I got off the BART, I thought I was incognito. And it got announced right away, what's this fool doing here? He's a Niner fan. And everyone started booing me. I probably had like at least 50 or 60 people booing me. And yeah, let's just say they gave it to me all the way across to the Coliseum.
Good times.
It was.
It's good times, man.
Yeah. I'll still stand there and tell them all that get lost.
You said it nicely. I
do not fear the black hole.
I mean, I just think they're weird. I just don't know why that would be the thing. Like that's how you know your organization isn't doing too hot, is when the most exciting part about your game is the fans dressing up in one of the end zones.
Yeah, David said what happened. Do you see it?
Went to a game when the 49ers played them, and I had a black 49ers shirt on. I was scared to death. Listen, David. Yeah. Just don't wear Niners gear. No, you gotta wear Niners gear.
Yeah, you gotta wear.
No, you gotta wear.
Hey, I understand where he's coming from, though.
Now they can get a little over the top.
Yeah,
they can take it a little too seriously. They can.
I think all fans do that.
It's true. I try not to too much.
Oh, I don't at all.
I try not to. I mean, there was one year I went to. I believe I went with Megan. We went to. It was the Niners. It was a day game. Niners. I forget who it was. I forget who they were playing. It might have been the Dolphins. No, it was that Baltimore game, and there were two Niners fans going at it over something. Something. I forget what it was exactly. And they started fighting, which is just ridiculous. And one of them started hurling their beer at the other person, and we're throwing it all over people, which is just great. We just love to see it. Now, keep in mind, I'm nowhere near it, but I literally turn around and I'm like, can you stop? They're in the red zone. It's right here. It's happening. Can you just pause for like 2 seconds? I got very upset. Was not very happy because it's distracting. You know, you got a lady behind you screaming, "I'll kill you!" and she's throwing her beer on you, and then another guy like, using foul language at her and saying words on this podcast that I cannot say. I won't repeat them. And then you had some nice man on woman striking going on, which is just not good at all. And I'm just like, you know what? Can we? I don't want to have to report the domestic abuse that's happening right now in front of me, or whatever it was. I just want to focus on the red zone game. And then you got security coming over and then ask questions. It's just like, guys, we're rooting for the same team here.
Yeah.
Listen, I hate Jimmy Ward too. That was at the time when Jimmy was still playing slot corner or whatever he was playing. Yeah. Every time he was on the field, I was like, this dude's going to get burned.
I think it's just a jersey. I mean, he went from 25 to 20 and all of a sudden he was good again.
He's a starter in the league and he's playing like making money. A top 15 safety, making good money. I'm happy for Jimmy Ward now, but I'll tell you what, man.
Hey, Tommy, my point is always 1983. That's the last time that they won a Super Bowl.
True.
Luckily, we won 11 years after that as bragging rights.
Always and forever. Always and forever. We did go to the Niners. Okay, that is one. We did go to the Niners-Ram game. Megan and I did. The one where Aaron Donald spiked the helmet, got tossed, and the streaker. I think that was the first. That was the first Monday night game in Levi's.
Okay.
We were at that game, like 5 rows from the field. So I got to literally watch it with my own eyeballs as Aaron Donald absolutely freaking lost his mind and destroyed his helmet. And then a streaker decided to streak along the field. So every time I hear that call, there's a clown running on the field from what's his name? I always Marv Albert.
Oh, okay.
He's running around. He's got no clothes on. I can't believe this dude's doing this. This guy is out here. He's a crazy Every time I hear that call, I visibly see Aaron Donald spiking his helmet and the streaker starting to streak across the field. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, Tommy, I know they say 84. I still refer to Super Bowls by the season at which they played, not the year that they actually played the Super Bowl. Because, I mean, they played in January of 1984. I don't
basically 83.
Yeah, I consider it the 83 season. That's why I always say it that way.
It's a good one.
Caleb is right. Fan fights on YouTube. Phenomenal.
Also, Bill's Mafia jumping through tables.
Oh, gosh.
That's entertaining as hell.
That's injury.
It's really, really silly because of the heights they're doing it at and the levels of intoxication at the time of jumping through the tables. But it's a good time. If you haven't watched Bill's Mafia jumping through tables, give it a whirl. It's a good. You'll feel better about yourself there for a little bit. I told Eagles fans as they were escorting me out that we were going to win the Super Bowl and their sorry team was not going to make the playoffs. Well, you weren't wrong that year, Jack. You weren't wrong.
So, what are you gonna do week 1 before the Niners play Detroit? What's your plans? What's everyone's plans?
Yeah, that's a great question. What are our plans?
What are our plans? That is to be determined. I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
we won't reveal nothing yet.
No, nothing yet. We'll see what happens. But I'm just wondering. I'm curious how everyone gets excited. I have certain things that I do on game day that are mandatory.
Mandatory?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like certain foods I have to eat, and certain stuff like that are just they have to happen.
I like it.
And if they don't, it's just not a good day.
It's not a good day.
Yeah.
So look, I don't know if I have routines per se. Typically, I have my standard certain types of breakfasts that get made. We get special breakfasts on Sundays during the NFL season. Someone, either myself or another person that I'm very close with makes them. Then you usually got some sort of afternoon snack food.
Snacky snack?
Yeah, snack foods. And then you got your big meal. Megan will be setting her fantasy lineup. That is probably 100% accurate.
And it'll all be rigged.
It's true. It's an inside joke.
Yeah, if you don't know what happens, Horst will probably have to talk about this at a later date because their fantasy league gets slanted towards a sustained success.
It's poppycock.
Allegedly.
It's poppycock. It's not true in any way, shape, or form. There's just a lot of Sesanias in the fantasy football league, and I try to accommodate everybody. And apparently, I'm biased.
You know who's not biased about fantasy football?
Who?
Me, because I don't do it.
You don't do fantasy football.
Yeah,
it's
I
true.
don't.
No, it's accurate. Ant, if you ever ask Ant... Oh, there's strike 2 right there.
You knew Tommy was coming strong.
Tommy, that's strike 2. Don't make me give you strike 3, Tommy. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I don't know who's keeping track of these strikes, but hopefully someone.
No one, probably.
Darn it. No, but yeah, no. If you ever ask Ant for fantasy advice, plan on getting none.
Yeah. Actually, Horse asks me for some all the time.
What do you tell him?
What I think. I also used to help Kyle, the ender that comes on our chat sometimes.
Yep.
At work, I used to talk to him about it as well. But I don't play fantasy, no.
I'm aware.
Ooh, I like that. Jag's going to
barbecue
and watch the game. That sounds like a good day.
How many sons you got, Jag? Yeah. How many sons you got? That's awesome. Because that's what, when I was a kid growing up, me and my brother and my dad, that was Sundays.
Is it mandatory for them to be Niner fans?
My kids, yeah. You ain't going to be no Patriots fans, that's for sure. I might not be on the podcast anymore if my first kid comes out a Patriots fan, folks. I may not be here anymore. It'll be a sad day in the Zazania household. It's not going to be a good day. Sorry, sweetheart. Love you, but no. No Patriots fans. And if they are Patriots fans, then they have to wear the Belichick hoodie every Sunday.
Do you guys think that they're going to use the check more? Is he talking about...
use check. I think he means use check. We hope so.
I hope so. Yeah, that was what we were talking about earlier. I hope so.
Juice is very dynamic. He can do a lot of different things. And, I think they have I think Shanahan has an idea of what his role is, but because of Jalen Hurd being out and just things of that nature, tight ends last year not being healthy, Jimmy not being healthy, it just kind of boxed him in. It really did. Because you've seen the amount of, holy, Jag's got 5 kids.
Wow, that's awesome.
Salute to you.
And 5 sons.
5 sons, too.
Impressive.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man.
He could have a whole offensive line.
For real. I'm not gonna lie, that's like a dream of mine, is to have 5 boys and have my own basketball team.
Ooh, yeah.
Starting 5.
I like that.
I like it. Too. Juice on the wheel route. It's always there. Shanahan's really good at scheming him up. I just think the team's got to stay healthy. The team stays healthy, it's going to be a lot easier for Shanahan to make Juice's role more diverse. If you don't have Hurt on the field, Kill's out, and Hurt, Dwelly is dwelling it up in the run block game. Juszczyk becomes your de facto, has to make the block guy. He becomes your de facto, your security blanket in the run game. He's got to pick up the pieces that are left behind from your O-line not being there, or not being able to interchange him and Kittle in that role.
Yeah, I hope he has an expanded role. And I think that they would have to bring him back on an expanded role after bringing him back. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're really looking at and wanting to do. They're going to try to get as much as they can out of him. I kept saying that I really was hoping that they would take an approach like Bill Walsh would have taken with this guy, because they would have Bill Walsh would have had this guy all over the place of doing Rathbun style stuff. Mm-hmm. And that would have been really fun to watch.
Absolutely. Tommy, you almost got strike 3, and then I read the rest of the comment, and you're fine. You're safe. Good job. They are your guitars. I thought he was literally saying he was hanging kids on the wall. Now it's going to be strike 3 right there. It's almost strike 3. Good save, Tommy. Good save. No, but I'll tell you what, man. I'm pumped about this schedule release. I'm pumped about just knowing now officially what time these games are, when they are, what order we're playing them in. I think the Niners have a lot of... I don't think it's going to be like the 2019 season where it's going to be a very easy start. Like they're going to get off to a roll. I could see them losing some games early. I said could. Possibly. I'm not saying anything yet. You'll have to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. if you want to know my exact thoughts on this. I'm not going to spoil anything now. But listen, there's an opportunity for them to lose some games early, but there's enough challenges throughout that it's going to get them prepared and ready for a deep, deep, deep playoff run.
That was a lot of deeps.
I could have gone one more deep.
Yeah.
But what's the point? Because that last deep was supposed to be the Super Bowl. So
yeah. I think that this season is going to shake out really well for the 49ers. I mean, after taking a preliminary look at the schedule, and kind of talking about it and going over it, I think there are some matchups that go their way and some things that could go their way that'll help them, get to where they want to go. I'm not sure I'm ready to go on a limb like some of the other guys and say 14-3. I think that would be rather impressive, bouncing back from last year. And really that means you're having no injuries and no setbacks. But I think they have potential and possibilities. But I'm curious what they do, early on in the season. I think if they get off to an early start, that will definitely catapult them into winning enough games to make the playoffs and doing some damage.
100% agree with you there. I'm trying to pull up because David had asked to put the schedule
up
on the screen. I'm trying to find the graphic here that's not it. That's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. Oh, here we go. This will work. All right. Let me get that up for you, David. So just give me uno momento here. Put it there. Hey now, good sir.
Yep.
There is a nice. You don't want to buy tickets. It's fine. You don't need to buy tickets. You don't need to buy tickets. We don't even know if California's going to be open yet. We don't know. We don't know what's going on yet with that. So there's a nice schedule release for you. Should be able to hopefully see that. I hope you can. If you can't see it and you need me to make it bigger.
Well, I mean, you can't see like some of the games, but you can see the top part.
And I can also scroll though too. So now I can scroll. So look, you got Detroit, obviously 1 p.m. Philly, Green Bay, Seattle, Arizona. 5, then you have Sunday. You have that Sunday, October 24th, Indianapolis, Chicago, Arizona, Los Angeles, Jacksonville, and the Urban Meyer Jaguars, Minnesota, Seattle, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Tennessee, Houston, and rounding it all up. Wonderful. Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So no, it's gonna be interesting, man. That's for sure. The Niners have everything they need. Everything they need now to get themselves off to a good start and hopefully for things to be rolling on the right foot.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, when you're looking at it, I mean, you knew who the opponents were going to be already. But I think it does make a difference knowing what time and what part of the season you play them. When you're playing which road games, when you're coming out of a bye, which games are at the end of the season, all that matters. So now that has all happened, I'm starting to get a pretty good idea and formulating an idea of how many games the 49ers are going to win, and it makes me happy.
I can tell you right now, I like our odds. The quest for 6 is back. It's on. Everyone thought 2020 was the revenge tour. We were all wrong. I was promoting the revenge tour. I was 1 year early. Revenge tour is this year. We got every game possible on the schedule to avenge what happened last year and to avenge that Super Bowl loss to those Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to kill those Chiefs.
Whoa.
They won't even make it back, actually.
Kill? Kind of strong.
Alex has 2 tickets to the gun show. I did arms today, so probably not tomorrow. Tomorrow when recovery is full, then I'll be, gun show will be back.
Then you'll be gun showing it?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Gotta wait a day.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right about the season. I think we both think that it's going to be optimistic. I definitely don't want to call it the revenge tour anymore.
It's the Avenge tour?
Rehab tour, Caleb said.
Hey,
2020 was the rehab tour.
Rehab tour is a good one, Caleb.
Yeah, that is
Shout
very
out.
solid. And that's what we're hoping is healthy 49ers this year.
Oh, you guys can see it. You guys can see that now. You weren't supposed to see that.
Wow, that's interesting.
No, that's not. I don't even know how. I don't know what you're supposed to do with any of that information and data. That's
there is nothing wrong with being a chef. No, I enjoy chefs. They make good food.
Oh, see, I mispronounced them. Chiefs is what I meant to say. Sorry.
Chiefs, yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs.
What's wrong with being a chef? Nothing. Tom.
Yeah, nothing.
Chefs are great. Chefs make delicious foods. Gordon Ramsay is like my favorite person in the whole wide world. So nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we can get Chef Ramsay on the show and he can make us some lamb sauce. Get it?
Yeah.
Because the lambs. Tommy, that one was for you. You're welcome.
I like what David just said. We're gonna run it down Green Bay Packers' throats, guaranteed.
They've done it pretty much every time that they've played them for the last.
And they haven't done anything to improve their defensive interior defensive line or linebacking group. They're gonna get ran over. Yeah, I think so. I think that will definitely be a lot better than the Thursday night game, and they are more likely to be healthy with it not being later in the season, which I think benefits the 49ers.
I agree. Also, I liked seeing that game early on the schedule. That was when I saw it there week 3, and I was like, I thought that would be a game that they would put later. But I'll tell you what, I'll take it in week 3 with this team healthy.
Especially with all the questions about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, dude.
And it's Sunday Night Football. Niners are going to be hyped. Niners will probably be wearing their white uniforms.
Oh, man, I got to love those throwback whites, dude.
Oh, that's going to be nice. Yeah, I'll be ready for that game for sure.
Oh, man, I'm already ready.
Yeah.
I'm getting my white Devo jersey all prepped.
It's just staying 19. Devo's not changing.
Let's go! It's one less thing to worry about. Thank you, Devo.
Yeah.
I don't have 19 problems anymore. I got no problems. Life is good. With the exception of class when we're supposed to be live streaming. Other than that, no problems. We're doing good. We're good, doing good. Man, I'll tell you what. Oh man, I'm just jacked. I'm so jacked. I feel like I don't know. I feel like a kid again. The only thing that can make this better is like Newsom deciding to just open the state up like today. I can go to Santa Clara and just like stand in the stadium. That'd be the only thing that make this better. I want to go to a game so bad this year. So bad.
Ooh, I like what Magnum McCormick just said.
That isn't, by the way, name.
Yeah.
Magnum, what's up? We need throwback 94 red jerseys.
I wonder if they're going to wear the traditional reds, the 75th anniversary, or if it's going to be something different.
Here they come.
We probably won't know until the state of the franchise. Is that maybe they'll release it then?
Probably
Talk
then.
about it then.
Probably then. Magnum, I got a throwback 94 red Kittle jersey.
Dude, those throwback 94s were very nice.
They were legit, dude.
Especially with the white pants. It was looking
so
clean.
Clean, bro.
Yeah, definitely
So
love
clean.
those.
So clean. They're coming back, man. They're coming back. That's for sure. I think they're gonna be bringing those back.
I hope they do it. I hope they do it for the 75th anniversary.
I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'd be totally fine if those become the new standard uniforms.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I don't know. I do like the gold though. I would like it maybe if they did it more alternate. If they alternated them.
I'm all good with them going just back to the 94s.
Okay, well that's you.
Full time.
That's you.
Full time 94s.
I like the 94s, but I like the gold.
Especially now. I mean, listen, back then people were like, "Oh, it's all blocky and nasty." Now those throwbacks, those might be the cleanest uniforms in the league.
Dude, they were never ugly.
They
were
weren't,
always
listen,
nice.
There were people who made the argument, and I could understand why they didn't like it, like the blockiness and the shadowing. Like, oh, it's tacky. That's what I've heard. Plenty of 49ers fans say that. Not a single person has complained about how basically the reimagining of those 94 uniforms looks now.
Yeah.
They are some of the nicest jerseys in the league. They're clean.
True.
They're clean. They're clean.
Yeah, I like them.
I'm a big fan. Then again, I also was a big fan of the old gold alternates that they wore one time. I liked those. I know there's a lot of people, like a certain somebody over there, who hated them, but me personally,
I didn't like the black either.
Ouch.
You know what my biggest complaint about it is?
Ouch.
Is why didn't they put gold around the numbers so it matched the helmet?
So you and I have the same gripe then, because that's my gripe. My gripe is why in the world is there not some sort of gold outline around this 71?
Yeah.
There should be a little bit of gold on here.
If there was, it would match the helmet unless you're going black with the red emblem on the helmet.
Okay, hold on. You know what would have been cleaner? White numbers with the gold around it.
I don't know about that.
I think that would have been.
You know what would have been really cool if the NFL let them wear multiple helmets and they had a black with the red emblem. Then it all would have matched. And that would have been like a Darth Vader look. Now that would have been dope. But I definitely prefer the whites over the blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Ellie didn't care about the blacks either. Woo!
Ouch, Jay. Jay, I'm literally wearing the jersey right now.
Yeah.
Jay, I'm wearing it. It's on. I'm
one of those guys that appreciates like traditional looks. So that's a part of the reason I appreciate the gold pants and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that, to me, is just something special about it. I don't know. I don't like all the new flavor of the week stuff. And I always thought it was weird the 49ers wearing black when all they really had was black as a shadow. It wasn't ever a main color.
Correct. It would have been better if they would have made our color rush jerseys the 94 Reds. The 94 Reds as the color rush would have been better.
Yeah, I agree.
Would have been a better choice.
Yeah. I like that it's at least like they're kind of going with the all white now.
They were trying to hide the football. That's funny.
Definitely not.
That's funny.
The bottom comment, definitely not.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on
because we're talking about black jerseys and white jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And apparently me not liking black jerseys is...
All right. Well, that's the world we live in now, folks. It's all going to get thrown in your face.
He's probably joking.
I hope so. God, I hope so, because otherwise I'm going to be very sad.
Well, it has no effect on us.
That's very true also.
It would only bug someone if they were actually racist, and I'm not racist, so it doesn't bug me.
That's also true.
I can talk about, black and white stuff.
It's accurate. It's accurate. Magnum McCormick, I got an all-black Montana one. Nice, clean. All about the money. David, you are correct. The NFL's got to make their bucks. They got to make their bucks, especially with no fans in 2020. Yep. They got to make all that money back. Caleb, like the ones from the 2000s.
Like more of a maroon and gold?
Yeah. That would be the Mariucci and Jeff Garcia days.
You see what RM said?
No.
I would end my life if I wasn't kidding. Solid save.
No, RM, don't do it. No.
I like that a lot, actually. That was
good. That was good.
He's one of our kind of people.
RM, I think you'd get along great with us here
on
the 49ers Cutback Podcast.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. There's another great sub-plug.
It's definitely one of our people.
It's definitely one of our people. For sure. For sure, my guy. My life. I wasn't kidding. Horst would get a good chuckle belly laugh.
Yeah, he would.
He would. He really would. Oh, my goodness. Well, chat, if you got any questions for us here to end the night, hit us up right now.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Let us know if there's any before we close it down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We gotta get some other stuff prepared also. We got great content coming out the rest of the week as well. You don't want to miss tomorrow morning's episode at 11 a.m. where we're going to give you our predictions.
Yeah.
For the 49ers 2021 schedule, our way too early predictions on how the season and how the schedule is going to play out for the 49ers. Each of us are going to make our picks, and no swinging scales.
No sliding scales.
Nope.
Magnum, yes, the 2000s were nice. You know what I preferred though? I actually own the white, the 2000s white jersey with the maroon numbers. Yeah. I have a Jerry Rice one.
I got one. I think mine
very nice.
I think mine's Young. I got a white Steve Young.
Those are very clean. I used to have some white shorts that matched them. It was very nice. I liked it.
That's good stuff right there. Good stuff. David asked, how many running backs do you think they will keep?
4. Oh, 5 if you count Juice. 4 halfbacks and then Juice. What do you think?
I agree with you.
Same?
I think it's 5.
Yeah.
I think 5 is the number.
Yeah.
I don't think they keep more than that. I know there was running back issues with injuries last year.
Yeah.
And I know there's some people who've been making the argument, oh, they have to keep more than 5. Look at all the injuries they had. That was last year. Well,
you just don't have enough roster room to keep more than 5.
Also true. Which week you think Lance will take over? I don't.
Yeah. I don't either. I think Matt Burgos brought up a good point earlier that if the 49ers struggle to start the season and are like 2 or 3 going into the bye week, that would be the time. Because you're coming out of that bye week, you have the extra, time to prepare. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think he'll have packages, but I don't think he takes over.
I agree with you. I think you're going to see a good dose of Trey Lance, but in situations.
Yeah.
He's going to be a situational guy. Think of him more, his first usage.
Yeah.
Being more dynamic than Kaepernick.
Okay.
Because when Kaepernick, remember when they would bring Kaepernick in for deep, huge, long ball shots or option plays?
Yeah.
When Trey Lance comes in, it could be anything. It could be a short yard run. It could be an option. It could be a deep ball. It could be a play action look. There's a lot of different ways that they can utilize Trey Lance. And so for me, Kyle Shanahan has got something up his sleeve.
Oh, 100%.
Always does.
Especially in the red zone, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's where you're going to see a heavy dose of Trey Lance.
Caleb said, you guys see Cowherd's heel turn on Lance. I haven't seen that.
He went full heel, huh?
I haven't seen that. I would enjoy that.
Did he break up with his daughter?
I don't know. Maybe Lance shunned her. He got the scent of a lesser stag in his nostril.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. Jalen, we appreciate it. Jag, we appreciate it.
Yep.
With you, I think bye week or next season. That's most likely.
Yeah, I think so, Magnum. I think so.
And we appreciate that, David, a lot. We really do. We really do.
Yeah, we love having you on. All you guys interacting with us is
everyone. Yeah.
100%. It's been a lot. It's always fun every single time. We look forward to it every single time we do a live stream because we get the full interaction. And then when we put out our shows, I always like reading the comments. It's always fun to just kind of see what people are thinking. If we're all on the same page, we have different opinions, and I like seeing other people's opinions. Maybe it changes the way I look at something.
It also just gives us more insight because we got our own lenses and we got our own views and how we see the game, how we see the team, what we think the team needs, what we think the team doesn't need. And so when we're talking to other 49ers fans, it's nice because you get different, maybe not ideas, but you get different viewpoints
on
all of this. And so it becomes a lot easier to formulate what you want to talk about the team.
I agree. Did he already date his daughter? I don't know if he actually did or not.
There were rumors.
There are rumors that it was happening. That's why he supposedly knew about the Niners and Lance, or he had a good idea about it.
100%. Ready dodgeball. That was a good, Tommy. So I guess I'm gonna have to watch this heel turn now.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a
episode about his heel turn.
Heel turn. Morgan Freeman. I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't get it. RM. Listen though,
that was his stepdaughter, I believe. Could be.
Very well could be.
Yeah, hello, I would kind of laugh if Colin Cowherd takes the heel turn.
My name is Colin Cowherd, and my stepdaughter is dating Trey Lance, and I have to say he is a wonderful gentleman from what I can tell in surmise.
Now you got Tommy busting out the dodgeball quotes.
Date. We should date.
I learned that in a book. That
was a great Ben Stiller role, dude. It was fantastic in that movie. People rag on Ben Stiller all the time. You can't hate him in that movie.
Isn't that convenient for you and the clock? They must have cut
my fitness consigliere, Michelle. It's just everything he does in that movie is.
They must have cut arts and crafts time early today. Yes, they did.
Freaking Chuck Norris.
Will Jimmy play like Rodgers this year?
Woo, David, that's a high bar. We don't need him to play like Rodgers. To be honest.
I think that you might get a little bit better version than 2019.
I think that's fair
because he has more weapons.
Yeah.
And I think so if they've surrounded him with better weapons, there's a possibility of that.
It's true. It's very true, Tommy. I love it. It's just got him on speed dial. It's going to be nice to see the fans back in Levi. Faithful energy makes a world of difference. It 100% does, especially in San Francisco. We saw the 49ers, how much they struggled at home last year without that energy.
They did.
So it's definitely going to be a much different environment and atmosphere for home games.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting to see a lot more energy out of this team.
Liposuction, option, or obsession. He just went Tony Perkis.
I love it, dude. I love it. Freaking Ben Stiller.
Yeah, you know what? And I want to hear that. I want to hear the first downs and
I want
to hear that so bad. I just want to hear lots of it every single game. I want that run game to just get rolling. Yeah. Jimmy complete these short slant passes that Debo and them take to the next level. I'm just ready for all that.
Dude, I'm jacked. I'm excited. Woo! Season cannot get here soon enough.
That's the truth.
September 12th! Cannot get here soon enough.
Agreed.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is going to be a very, very exciting time. It's going to be a very, very exciting season. Folks, if you're not, oh my. Nothing happened there. There's nothing to see. If you have not already, if you're not a member of this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. That way you're notified when our content goes live and we're posting. That way you can be here. You can join in the conversation early. You can be a part of it. We want you to be a part of it. We want this community to grow. The Cutback community is one of the best communities on YouTube, bar none. I go into Rambo streams. I go into all these other people's streams. We're seeing what these other 49ers content creators are putting out there. And I'll tell you what, the people we have here interacting are some of the best on YouTube. We appreciate and love all the support you guys give us.
Yep.
So subscribe, hit that button. Make sure you're here. 11 a.m. tomorrow. We got a video coming out. It's a big one. It's going to be a fun one. Friday, there'll be no early morning video, but you will have your Friday night live stream, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll be going live, talking all things 49ers.
And rookie minicamp.
Freaking rookie minicamp. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. And then 11 a.m. video Saturday, 11 a.m. video Sunday, and we're rolling into OTAs, rolling into training camp. getting closer and closer to the preseason.
Yep. Cannot wait for it. It's exciting. We're going to have more fun stuff coming out this week. Make sure you enjoy. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. I had a lot of people text me this week and tell me that they just realized I had a podcast and they were going to start subscribing. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We do.
And I appreciate everyone because today, starting out alone, kind of just getting through, but everyone was there with me the whole time. They did a great job, and I had a lot of fun interacting with them as we released the schedule. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great comments. And as always, I could count on these people because they're always there for us. And so it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Chat, you're holding it down for us, holding it down for Ant, holding it down today. I'll try not to let it happen again. I can't make any promises. The class is a little crazy sometimes. But, man, good stuff.
Yep.
I'm glad I got here for a little bit of it. Chat, we love you, and we'll see you on the next one.
You know what time it is. Let's chalk another one up.
Hold it. Bye, chat.
Bye, Josh Rosen.
For real. Bye.
From the alley-oops at Keysaw to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way. From off-season to game day.